Okay. Okay. Hello. I have no idea why the other is not working. Does it sound like shit? Is my next question. Cause I can hold this shit. Speak into the orb. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I have indeed. Let's see. I just put a noise suppression filter on it, so maybe it won't sound as like shit. Nature documentary voice. Witness a wild megaphone man. Clippy? Delightful. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this shit. Yeah, no, it's definitely worse than my normal mic. No question there. Testing. The orb of power is killing my ears with holy sonic waves. It's definitely better with the suppression on. That's good. I'm looking for... I think I just moved, obviously. And I'm thinking that maybe the issue is that during the move, part of my aux got bumped. I don't think so. 1 second. Does Dogcam have mic? Dogcam has very bad mic. You do not want me to use Dogcam mic.
Let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
I will. Oh great, now the camera's broken. No. Yeah. This is not going well. Well, I guess good thing that this one is a long one, I suppose. Okay, well now I'm back. Too bassy, it's so sensitive. Yeah, sounds like a camera mic or something. I mean, it's a very cheap mic compared to this. Much more expensive. The mic is sort of... Wait. Regular mic is working now? What? Testing. No, I don't think regular mic is working. I think it was just that I was holding this far away from my face. If I get it far away versus get it close. Because like I said, I can just hold this shit right here. It'll just be this. But I don't know why whatever mic was working at super low. Awesome. Orb distance is making no difference. Sweet. You're saying regular mic is working? This is... Okay, I'm putting the orb far, far away. Now I'm putting the orb close. Oh my god, it is the normal mic that's working now. What? What the hell? It... Oh, wait, what? Oh my god. Shit's confusing, man. I have a source that is labeled as this mic, and it is not coming through that source for some reason. So it's not getting any of the gain enhancements, so I have to turn it way the fuck up on the actual inverter. Ah! Okay. Regular mic is very loud now. That's good. I mean, it's better than not, I suppose. Holy shit, now I'm gonna be blasting myself out in here. Do 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 la 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 la. Meme gif for this moment on Discord. Great. Let's see. Okay. Greetings to Twitch chat. Greetings. Okay. Couldn't stay in the stream on Saturday. Now I'm like 15 hours behind and counting. Oh no. You'll get there. Okay. So I think we're all good now. It doesn't show your sub in the glass. I think because you subbed too early. I think it was because you subbed offline. But I did see it. Thank you very much. Thank you both. Oh wait. Is that the case? Oh yeah, that is the case. Oh yeah. So I think I'm pulling things all up on Twitch. But I think yeah. So I got Soya and Summer. Welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. I'd rather have to turn you down than struggle to hear you. Yeah, true. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Very cool. I also theoretically turned on ads on Twitch. We will see if they run. The interface for them was weird. And like I couldn't really tell what was going to be a pre-roll and what wasn't. But I think I set up something, so something might run on Twitch. We will, we'll see. Okay. So I think we are good now. I think we can, we are chilling. When I clicked on the stream, there was a short run. You guys got ads? You weren't supposed to get pre-rolls. What the fuck? Your mic level must be rather high now because my laptop's is quite low, so I'm wondering how it will match the CR. I can see on a mixer, theoretically, how they should match. So we will see. I can kind of eyeball it, but I only get, kind of within a range. So if it's, crazy different, I'll be able to tell. Twitch ads are a bit shit. Yeah, may or may not leave them on. We're going to have to see how worth it they are, like the actual dollars and cents of it, but I might just turn them off. Mic output is higher than normal. Okay, I can turn it down a tad. Okay. Mic output is okay. I had a question about something you. Oh, welcome, Elizabeth Barry. How you doing? Welcome. Oh, and that's on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. I had a question about something you said last stream with death saves. Do you roll them for the player, or does the player roll and you hide from the others? Whichever. Doesn't matter to me. I actually think I replied to your comment, Albie. Yeah, I mean, typically I roll them, but that is mostly like an expedience thing. So they at one point we tried, I think, having them send me a Discord message, and one of them was like, I mean, you could just roll it, and so now I just roll it. But the important thing is that the players that are up don't know what the result was. And my players just don't really care. So they just enjoy like the tension of it, and the player that is downed, like when I started rolling them, I started also not telling the player that was downed, and they were cool with that. So that's just what I do now. But the main thing I think is to have it behind the screen. Nothing else really matters. All the rest of it is just kind of meaningless details. Elizabeth Bathory? I don't think Bathory. I don't know of Bathory. When I clicked on... Oh, yeah, I got that. What's up, JJ? How you doing? Let's see.
If the players don't mind, it doesn't matter. But if one died and they didn't roll, I'd feel strange having rolled for them. Why? You rolled everything else. Like, you rolled all the monster damage to kill them. You set up the encounter to kill them. Like, if a player dies, it's your fault as a DM. In some small part, like, you know, it's a mix of both of your faults, but like the hand that throws the clicky clack die doesn't. It's not like they can affect death saves in any way. Like, if they could like use luck or something, like maybe it would matter. But it does. It's not like it. It's not like it matters. My favorite moment last episode, Scanlan's friend moment. It was a good moment. It was intense. That was like one where I was like, whoo, like it worked in that moment, but I was nervous about it. Because I'm superstitious. All right. If you're superstitious, like that's fine. Like if you were at the table and you wanted to roll your death saves, I'm more than fine with it. I don't really care. It's mostly like the thing that I think is different and that matters is that it's behind the screen. I think that is a huge difference. The actual hand that is used to throw the math rock doesn't matter. I did get my button. Thank you, turds. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's coming in. Thank you, turds. Thank you, Lanciette Wood. I'm Albie on YouTube, just named after D&D character here. Gotcha. Cool. Well, welcome. Do you get anything from someone using their Prime membership to sub on Twitch? Yes. And actually there was just a change around that is actually makes things a little bit worse for me. So it used to be that Twitch would count the number of subs that you have and then give you $2.50 like per sub. Now it's all localized. So I get a certain amount of money. I get a 50-50 split on that Prime sub, depending on the country. So it's not $2.50 anymore. I think US it's like $2.25 now. So I get a certain amount. I don't know exactly how much, or at least it will. That's a change that's coming down the pipe. But yes, I do get. So that is part of the. I don't want to say part of the reason. That's like one of the main drivers for me dual streaming on Twitch now is that you guys just have like free subs you can give me, which is literally just free money at that point. So, oh shit, it's a hype train. I don't know what the hype train means. Woo, hype train. I don't know what any of that means. I had bits sitting around? Dude, I don't even know what bits are. I think they're money. So I really appreciate it. But I don't know what a bit is, and I don't know how it works. But I very much appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw that change. That's lame. I mean, look, they just laid off like half of their staff. I would rather them make that sort of change and keep more people on staff. Or actually, I don't know if I even would. I don't know the back end of how Twitch works. I don't know if those people were doing anything, but yeah, Twitch is like kind of bleeding money from my understanding. So it's lame, but I'm not surprised, I guess. You get less from me because I'm not in the US. Yeah, I've heard that. It makes sense. I'll sub there too then. Sorry, I'm from Canada, so I don't know how much less it. I mean, it's not your guys' fault. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lunacy and Beckliz. Like, I really appreciate it. Any amount is a positive amount. So I really appreciate it. It's like 185 for UK. Yeah. Yes, money. It just means that there's vaguely gamified incentive for us to cheer and sub right now because we get emotes based on the level we hit. However, at this point, I think like 50% of Twitch users probably have the full range. Okay, fair enough. Throwing money at you in quick succession. Let's go. I don't know what a bit is. Megaphone Man certified computer programmer. True. Lunacy is me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so I think with that, it feels bad to go from that very like thank you, very positive note too. I have somewhat of a serious note, unfortunately. And it's something that I don't want to talk extensively about, but I do want to talk about it. Which is a comment that was on the last video that you will no longer be able to find on said video. And let me just pull it up. And so basically, of course, right when I get to the serious part is when it cuts out. Oh my goodness. Okay, I know why it's cutting out. I know exactly why. Let me see. Let me change the properties of these actually real quick. So let's see. Microphone device. Oh my gosh, yeah, why did it change it to that? Okay. Now, oh my god. This is so weird. Okay, now I see that it's working. So I'm just gonna leave it now. I need to test this out later, but I'm just gonna end it, or I'm just gonna do this for now. Unmuted. Hello. Okay. Gosh, technical issues compared with conversations I'm nervous about are not a good pair. Okay. So the reason that everything is blacked out is because this is not a name and shame deal, but I'm not putting this comment up because a random commenter was doing something I didn't like. It was because like known people from the community that like I know and are good community members were doing something I didn't like. So the question was, what's your day job? Perfectly fine response. He said he's not going to be revealing that. That's weird. And then I don't fuck with this sort of response. The guy did not go on to give like a super calm, reasonable response either. But this is essentially like shaming someone for ignorance. And that's not cool. Like I am weird. And if someone calls me weird, that's fine. I would rather be the weird guy with the very patient and very kind and very generous audience. And this could have been anyone. Name and shame me if you want. No, that's not what it's about. Because this wasn't something that I saw and I was like, oh, it's like these two people. Like, this is something that I could have seen anyone doing because I've never said not to. No, it's okay. It's really not about the individual people. Like, I'm very serious. It's not about the individual people because, like, I could very much have seen this being a ton of other community members because I've never said not to do this sort of thing, and like this sort of thing is like very okay in other circles. I don't fuck with it. I try to be patient, and I try to be like very generous and give a lot of a lot of good faith. Like this person was just, like wanting to know if I worked in like what industry in general. Like, yeah, I'm not telling them where I work. And that's something that I have been like very private about. But that's it. So that's it. It's not like a huge deal. I just wanted to bring it up because it's something that I wanted to establish, like live. Anyways, honestly, I don't want anyone to know my day job either. 90s internet safety has fallen by the wayside, and DVH, that's a genuine tragedy. Yeah, and I mean, I have called out, I've talked about how I work in IT before. I've just never called out like the specifics of it, But yeah, no, it's all, like I said, it's all good. What's oh man, that's asking a lot from YouTube comments, but yeah, there's no shame in that. People trying to be cool. Yeah. And yeah. That's also why, like, there's a lot of other creators that like I don't fuck with, but I also don't like say that online or like in the public square. Like if you guys want to be like, there was this weird ass comment in the Discord, like, honestly, that's one thing, but like in the public comments, it's kind of a different thing. Noted that that's not your vibe. Yeah, exactly. What's up? Been a while since I caught stream. What's up, Nspire? It has been a little bit. It's good. We're got a new few things going on. New layouts. New Vox Machina bingo. New background for me, but that's brand new. Just moved today. Happy birthday, BTW. Now my birthday. Or is it? Mega works in the cat girl factory. They're making real life cat girls, but it's harder than we think. The government has to subsidize it. It was Paige. She wants to know. I think that's totally unfair of her to ask. You're right. You're so right. He's a spy. Paige says I'm a spy. Yeah, take that for what it's worth. But all right. Oh my god, that was so loud. But yeah. All right. I think I got the Vox Machina bingo not regenning fixed. It's so loud. Oh great. My ears, no. Okay, wait, let me turn that down. Compared to mine. Better? Sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't. I'm going back to read all the stuff that was said before. When the weird change. Oh yeah, I'm gonna. So far, perfect levels. Sick. Yeah, I had to change a bunch of stuff around, and I guess I just plugged them into different USB ports, and my computer hated that, apparently. Because I have a really, like, old mixer that I don't know if you can see, but it's this guy. It's, like, very, very analog and does not always perform the best. Same thing with, like, my computer and my mouse. Although I have a vertical mouse. I don't know. Whoa. Speaking of being weird, whoa. There's a vertical mouse. But the audio mixer gets really fucky sometimes. The gain is probably more noticeable purely because the actual knob on the thing is way higher than it was. I have no idea why. Audio quality doesn't sound 100% on YouTube, but volume-wise, they're perfect. Could be the OG video, though. I mean, it's probably that. It is also probably a settings thing, if I had to guess. Vertical mouse, unsubbed, unfollowed, and reported. Bro got the PS5 for a mouse. Look. It's ergonomic. I can't go back now that I have one. Will this be a very short stream then, since it's only 50 minutes? Sort of. So we'll do the rest of this episode, which will be a lot shorter, and then I have some extras that I'm going to do. So there's a couple of things that me and John talked about the timestamps for. So we're going to do some of those tonight. Next Wednesday is also going to be a shorter stream, but also between the dates of February 17th through the 24th, I'll be back in Kansas. So like the stream on the 19th, the 21st, and the 23rd, those will all be like, I don't know yet if I'm going to do like a 3-parter or if we're just going to do episode. I don't know what we're going to do that week. But there also might be some extras then as well. So in general, shorter stream, maybe some Q&A type stuff to buff it out a little bit. But yeah, it is definitely going to be shorter. Roll D20 to see how the tech will be tonight. Not good. Not good. Every time I move my computer, the tech always gets fucky for a few days. But I also move stuff all the time, so we'll just have to deal with it. Little bro can't handle a little carpal tunnel, buys a special mouse like a nerd. Actually, that mouse looks super cool, and now I'm considering one. The tough part is, a lot of them are not big enough. I don't think I have like that big of hands, but most of them are really small, so I don't like that. And then the ones that aren't small don't have very many mouse buttons. So like this one has 2 mouse buttons, which I like. But I really wish I used to be like a big mouse button guy, and now I'm not really, because not many of them have a lot. Smallville, Kansas. That is exactly where I'm from. How did you know? And the multi-stream chat stopped working. Damn it. Paige is now singing the theme. BTW, any reference to Rice Krispies are technically a cast member reference? I saw that meme. I actually saw that short specifically about the strawberry Rice Krispies. I think at the end of the episode, I can finally recommend a fan video for on or off stream viewing. Oh, cool. Okay. No XLR inputs on the sound card. What nonsense do you expect us to believe? No DAT drive on the PC. You didn't splurge on zip disks. Yeah. For some reason, I need a straight. Well, I used to have an USB to XLR, and that shit was even worse. I need this mixer. Honestly, for all the hype of this arc, the Briarwoods and Orthax definitely could have done with 200 more HP each. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know that Orthax is done. And I wouldn't have liked the Orthax fight more if he had more hit points. Like, that wasn't the part of him that, went out like a chump. You know what I'm schmaying? It's like the Orthax fight was just like a smoke guy in a hallway. And if he has more later, I'm down with that. And we'll talk about that when we get there or a little bit later, but if that's gonna it, I don't know. Let's not ergonomics shame. True. Listen, someone I follow on Twitch has a thing where you can redeem 1 bit fake money to appease the tech goblins. Since tech is often full of gremlins, it seems. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Oh yeah, his attack power wasn't too high either from what you've seen. Yeah, from what I've seen. That's the thing is like, the title is very clickbaity, very provocative. But like, maybe he'll come back and that was just like a little foreshadowing biddy for him. Maybe he won't. So yeah. But that is, it was, and I think it wasn't even that like his attack, it is that his attack power wasn't high, but it was also just that like his build and like his attack like stuff wasn't like very unique. It was just kind of boring. Like he had like one cool ability, but it was just like the entire encounter was pretty boring. For something that was so hyped up. But, again, foreshadowing can be boring. I'm just curious if this is actually foreshadowing or not. The art is epic. I'm excited for the art. Omnissiah. Another problem with the fight, I noticed his strategy. Hiding inside the earth didn't do much because all of Vox Machina just held their actions until he reappeared and then walloped him. Yeah, Topaz, that's a really common sort of issue with that type of fight, but also specifically with single enemy sides, right? So if you have a side that has, one enemy versus a bunch, if that enemy disappears, if they hide in a crate, if they take cover, like, the rest of the allies just hold their turn. So that's honestly that is a really big consideration for let me draw an example. If for some let's say that somehow Orthax could like summon up big like cloud tanks or walls or something with a lot of hit points, but then maybe he was like a lower hit point, kind of like dodging in and out sort of deal. It could have been worth it if, say, Orthax came out during the Briarwood fight, where like the Briarwoods are not very attack heavy, but they'll charm you and they have a bunch of hit points. And then Orthax does a lot of hit point damage, but then he ducks back into like some earth and some rock in between so that you can't hit him. Like, that dropping into the earth has to be a defensive move that forces Vox Machina to not deal with him and go deal with something that is harder to deal with, right? Something harder to hit, something that is more maybe oppressive defensively. So yeah, it was his whole build was just the enemy with the arena. It was just not. It wasn't a very difficult fight. Wasn't very interesting. The way that the fight came about was thematic, but it doesn't always matter. If like the way you get somewhere is thematic, if the place you get to is bad, Oh wait, Torben said, how many seconds of the show did I miss? 0 so far. Only 31 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Don't shame my brethren. Bits are the only way to appease Luna's tech goblins. I got no clue. Sark mainly has really great RP. It has had stellar RP. Absolutely stellar RP. I imagine that's where the bulk of the hype comes from. I mean, especially in comparison to everything before it. Like, I don't think that the Kavarn fight was, I think, more interesting. The Emberhold fight was interesting. But there haven't been like crazy amazing fights up to this point. They've just been like solid. And so I think that having maybe slightly subpar fights, but with way improved RP, like, I think this arc has been my favorite so far. Like, pretty much with no hesitation. So I definitely get like where that hype comes in. Of like, yeah, this has been my favorite so far because the RP has been excellent, and Matt's narrative DMing and like tonal DMing has been awesome. Like, the way that he has set up tones, which honestly is part of why the fights feel flat to me, is honestly because of Matt's skill in hyping them up before they actually come out, which is not the worst thing in the world to be able to do. Next arc definitely gets a lot better with fights being interesting from what I remember. That's cool. Wasn't Matt also just allowing them to do whatever they want with that held action without specifying beforehand? Maybe. I don't quite remember. They had some discussion about like holding actions, and there was some amount of discussion, but I don't think it, even if they didn't go by Raw, even if they had, I don't think it would have made a substantial difference in this case. When in doubt, take the dodge action. Also true. What up, Colvin? How you doing? I feel like any assassin type builds needs a distraction type like Ali allies, like 2 to 3 hellhounds that will just keep attacking opponents if they ignore him to hold their attacks. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. What I'm talking about. Ron Quixote is like, yeah. If what's his name, Orthax goes into the stone, there needs to be a reason that is a viable defense. It needs to not just be a blank room. Otherwise, there needs to be an environmental effect, maybe even an environmental ticker, where like the environment is getting worse and worse and worse for the party, but it's not getting worse and worse and worse for Orthax, so that them wasting a turn actually means something. So yeah, I agree. Do you have a favorite character thus far? Probably Vax. I love Grog and I love Travis and I love everything about them. But Grog is a tiny bit one note for like being like really like for being my like really great favorite. Grog is a tiny bit one note for that. I think that Vax is interesting. I think Liam plays him really well. So I'd say it's tough though. It's close, but I'd say probably. God, I'm forgetting Vax. God, I was like forgetting his name. This arc is super engaging. Yeah. Just got a new ad on Twitch. What? It was supposed to warn me. What the fuck? It's also supposed to warn what's their face? It's supposed to warn mods, but in chat, but it did not warn me, and I doubt it warned Mustang. That's so weird. Okay, if it's unpredictable like that, especially, we recently ran an ad and must wait to run another. Well, thanks a lot. I'm glad that you're restricting it like that, but it didn't even tell me. I've not gotten any ads here. To be fair, if you subbed, like if you use like your Twitch Prime, you won't get ads. So that might be part of it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep them up for this stream. We'll see how much they even make. I'll probably turn them off, if we're being honest. I want to say the fights get better, but honestly, I can't remember because it's been a while since I watched them. The parts of Critical Role I always come back to are the funny moments in story, and that's totally fair. And that is like, every game is not going to have everything, and every DM is not going to have everything, and every table is not going to want everything. Like, you have to focus on certain parts. My tables are not going to have the same level and quality of NPCs that Matt's table does. Like, that's just not in my wheelhouse compared to his. So yeah, like that just like might be the situation. But we'll see. I don't know. I've not gotten any ads in here. What? Grog slander? How dare you not like Grog and only Grog? Grog's my number 2. Grog's my number 2, but I don't know. I didn't get any when I first joined. Weird. Again, Twitch ads are blah. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Check out the video suggesting the Discord to check for spoilers. See you around 6 minutes. Sounds good. Before I subbed. Oh, weird. Yeah, I don't know, Lancet. I don't know. But we will see. We'll see. I think my takeaway from last episode is that, we're kind of already talking about it. Orthax kind of went out like a chump. If this was, if this is how, a 3-year build-up character for one of the players and a, 12 episode build-up character for the other players, if that's how they go out, I don't know. If you turn ads off, people will still get 60 to 2 of them when they first join, which makes people click away. Not a bad idea to manually run them whenever the notice pops up and you're not actively commenting. That's freaking crazy, Erdturnmons. It's crazy that I cannot choose to demonetize my own videos. Oh man, okay, we'll experiment. We'll experiment for a little bit. What about what happened with Scanlan? What the friends incident? I don't have a huge takeaway on that mostly because there's not a really nice, concise opinion on it of like that behavior from all of the players. I think was okay in that situation, but the same behavior in a different situation with a different player, or even with the same players in a different situation, like. I think it was good and okay, but I can't pick out why it was good and okay. It's just one of those like vibe feel out things of like, yeah, this one was fine, but that sort of behavior can be risky at a table. So it's a very lukewarm opinion of, yeah, Baronessa, you know it when you see it. Exactly. It does become apparent that Matt is slowly learning more about playing, even though it's not like this was his first time DMing, but it still feels like playing on such a scale as they did helped. Well, yeah, and so consistently, and having people giving him feedback, both like positively and like politely and not politely, was probably like really helping escalate his DMing skills and abilities. Yeah. The worst part is they have so few buyers who get the same ad 4 times. Oy, 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 earned turn. That is... Wait, did the Briarwoods die last stream? Damn, must have missed the VOD. Yeah, yeah. So both Silas died, and then... Silas died 2 streams ago. Delilah died last stream. So, yeah. And their deaths were fine. Delilah's was way cooler, I thought. I thought it was way better than Silas's. But even like the Briarwoods, I think, did not go out to the scale and level that I thought they were going to based on Matt's like previous stuff. But that could just be me. Kind of new around here, no spoilers situation, right? Yes, no spoilers. So there is, I've never seen any of Critical Role. Like, everything that I've seen is documented on my YouTube channel. So everything just before this, and I don't do a lot of extras, but we do sometimes talk about like some context. But there is a Discord that has a spoilers chat if you want to talk to other people that have seen Critical Role in a spoiler, full way. But yeah, no spoilers actually in the chat. But yeah, you know it when you see it. Yeah, it's exactly like porn, Baronessa. Yeah. Just trying to help fast track you. Been around this block a while. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. It is it's weird. The Twitch ads, the Twitch stuff is weird, but the primes are too good of a revenue source, and I like having both up. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Tal gave Matt plot hooks. It's not exactly like it was building at the table for 3 years. Yeah, no, true. It was building in Talison's mind. This this Orthax business. But it has certainly been a villain that has been building for, at the bare minimum, the last 10 to 12 sessions, which out of game, it's like the past like 2.5 months. If they're playing every week. So it's been building for a little bit, but yeah, maybe not 3 years. The only reason I'm saying that is specifically because, Taliesin, like throughout, like I've been waiting 3 years for this. Did they drop any Electrum? Strangely, no, Inspire. I wonder why. It is interesting to note that what Scanlan did seemed to have some positive effect. It is definitely interesting to note the actions themselves are still risky. Again, I think that in this case they were okay. Everyone was cool with it. But even in that case, the result almost doesn't matter. I mean, it does. It matters in the game, but it doesn't, over matter. 20 Electrum to Mega. Thank you. Get that dirty Electrum away from me. I would never take it. Doogies. Hey guys, just went away from for a second. What are we talking about? We're talking about the Scanlan Friends casting moment last session. Stream's going well. Just so I know what the last point you left off was, what was the last scene of the episode? That is kind of a good question. I remember in general, but I don't remember in detail. I think it's just them throwing the list into the fire, right? Yeah. It's just them throwing the list into the fire. Or into the lava or the acid or something. Doug. Any PC to PC thing gets iffy? Yes. Any PC to PC thing gets iffy. It gets even more iffy when you are taking away another PC's agency. Both with enchantment magic and then secondarily with paralyzing magic. So that's why I'm saying, like, in this case, it all went fine, but like that exact same series of actions with a different set of players might not be fine. That same series of actions with the same players in a different situation might not be fine. So it's hard. Yeah, here's the thing though. They never knew if they were going to have Pike or not, and Pike with Keyleth is a huge position. Huge position. I don't know. You know, they might have gone out fast, but also the thing was Pike being there, Pike and Keyleth against Undead are huge like positives in your group. Yeah, I mean, I think we knew that they knew that Pike may or may not be there, but the fights themselves I don't think were overly interesting. And, like, Pike was not there for the Orthax fight. Like, Orthax was a pretty fucking easy fight without Pike there at all. Or was Pike there? Either way, I don't... No, Pike was there because she guiding bolted it. I forgot. But I don't... In a 7-on-1 versus a 6-on-1, even if it's a cleric, like that Orthax fight was not going to be substantially different. It was still going to be them surrounding Orthax and hitting him a bunch. It wouldn't, like, Pike being there was not a substantial difference to, like, how that fight felt. And I would say the same thing with the Briarwoods. Watch the video, Mega, check your DMs. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Do you consider info about character feats spoilers if they've already showcased having the feat? That one's hard because the only one... I don't really because anything can be like a background. So like I debated this on knowing if Percy has Magic Initiate or if he has like a level of Warlock. But they have very clearly demonstrated that like I think the whole Orthax thing was separate to Percy's class choices. So I don't consider that a huge spoiler. If it's like about their class and their build that they have currently right now. I only drop Electrum in odd fractions and not evilly splittable. You're evil, Daniel. Evil. At least ask. I would still say that Fanlayer is still correct. I would, if you're not sure about it, it might still be worth asking in the spoilers channel. I think the fact that Percy was willing to jump into the acid is an indicator that Scanlan probably made the right decision. Oh yeah, like in character, yes. Like I think that like the players and the characters did make the right decision. Yes, very much so. Yeah, and that you know that is not in doubt. And that's the thing is like that's the hard part is that even if something is the right decision, a party might still not be comfortable with it. Like you could argue that you know the way that Percy, like some people would think that the way that Percy tortured Delilah was the right decision. Right? That's like something we could debate. But for some people, it would still, even if their character would believe it to be the right decision, they still don't want it at their table. So, like, casting friends, like, manipulating one of your party members' minds, even if it's the right decision in character, might not be something that, like, a player is comfortable with at the table. Because that is, like, a big line to step over. Now, if everyone is cool with that line being stepped over, then it's, it can be okay. But it still is a big, big line. Most of the time my players want to do PvP slanted stuff. We make sure to have their consent from both sides before doing any rolling. If the recipient says they're not comfortable, they can say no. Yeah, which is great. There's also, there's several safety tools for, like, stopping what's happening as you're playing that, would be good here. But yeah, I think, like, it can work for sure. But it can be, it's risky. And it's good to make sure that everyone's comfortable the whole time. I think it's a neat idea, since Matt described Orthax as unusually large, strong for a shadow demon. Is if Orthax had split itself into multiple entities, helped his action economy, could have been great. Like, I think there's a lot of things that could have made Orthax more interesting, and we could probably go down it. I think I'm just pretty confident that it was not that interesting the way it was. But yeah, I think Topaz, you're totally right, is like, that could be a very neat idea. Or if, like, people's shadows, like, he infected their shadows, so he could, like, jump between them, he could control their shadows. Yeah, totally. I was thinking more along the Briarwoods, because without Pike, they would all be dead. Maybe. I don't quite know what you mean. But possibly. I don't think we know quite how it would have ended out. The only PC that went down was Vex, and it was pretty specifically because she charged her face at Lady Briarwood. So I don't know that it's that clear that, like, Pike being there was the reason that they survived. I think, they had plenty of resources left. I mean, they had, let's be real. They had enough resources after the Briarwood fight to then fight Orthax. So they couldn't have been that close to losing with or without Pike. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know about that one. 7 Electrum to everyone in the YouTube chat. I think the Briarwood art is a turning point for Vox Machina. Like, they're becoming heroes. They started out as bumblefucks. Future Gilmore said it, not me. Yeah, I mean, that's close to, Future Gilmore is that's approaching the line of spoilers, but you're probably fine. Shadow Demon minions could have helped a bit. Yeah, true. Almost an hour, no episode yet. Fascinating. I mean, I'm talking a lot more than I normally would, just straight to chat, because this is going to be such a short one. A negative Percy version of Orthax that shot like 6 times around without reloading would have been sick. That's what I thought was going to happen, Ron Quixote. I very much thought that was potentially on the chopping block, was like an evil version of Percy. They take down the evil version of Percy, and then they fight real Orthax. I thought that was going to happen. That's as far as I'm going. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's just it's very easy to slip forward into it. It seems Orthax wasn't really planned for then and there. Yeah, definitely. It was a combination of names still on the list and Percy fighting his compulsion in the Nat 20. I certainly agree. It is, and that's a thing where, like, I think both of those fights, both the Briarwood and the Orthax fight, it seems like Matt was trying to reward something, but in the process, I think made the fight worse. And that's like decisions you have to make as a DM, is like, am I going to improv something here in response to what the players did, in response to, like, something I wasn't prepared for? Or am I going to do something else? And in this case, I don't think he I don't think it was good. Like, I don't think he landed on like the right side of that equation. But it's not the weirdest thing in the world. It's very it can be very. It is normal for DMs to not hit that side of the equation. Like, I don't think that like Matt's like a bad DM for that. He's trying to do things that are cool for his players, and that is very good. I think in this point though, it cheapened the fights a little bit too much. What's up, Mr. Dad? Thanks for the not ban. Yeah, no worries. I mean, yeah, I understand. I understand the desire, but yeah, and you did not cross the line by any means. It just can very easily get into line crossing territory. Is it too wild to say they might have had a chance to beat the Briarwoods again in their current state? That's maybe a little wild that they were still powerful enough to beat the Briarwoods again. The problem, and well, I say problem. Problem is big asterisk. But the weird thing about the Briarwood fight power is that it was largely dependent on the charm. Like, the charms were real power swingers within the fight. So it really depended on who they tried to charm, how successful were they, did the charms go through, did they break the charms at any point? And so that makes the fight's difficulty kind of hard to judge. But regardless of the difficulty, I can say that I don't think it was nearly as interesting as either it was planned on being. I think it was planned to be much more interesting. And then I don't think it was as interesting as it could have been, certainly. Yeah, early days of Matt's DMing on stream as opposed to a hoe table. A hoe table. Briarwood's equal relationship goals, especially if you're a psychopath. I mean, she did break the world for him. Hoe table is for hoedowns. Ooh, do the hoedown showdown. All right, I think with that, I think we're about ready to get started. Boop. Why did it not? Oh no. Wait. Oh no. Oh no, all of my macros are off. Okay, we're just not going to have a timer this episode because the timer won't matter that much. And I just realized that my macro to activate it is fucked. So no timer, but I think we'll be okay. That was a very intelligent trinket. I love all the trinket art. Trinket is worth being a distinct disadvantage for the entire party just for the art of him. Sick. Kool-Aid Man has clipped the REST displays SGL XML parser on-screen chat. What? What are we talking about, Daniel? I don't even know. Oh, Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think some things are just not going to display well in the on-screen chat because it's the multi-stream chat. I'm not exactly sure which ones will display exactly right. Must try not to hack. Must not try. Let's see. Okay. So after the art break, it is 2016. 2016. There we go.
Welcome back, folks. So, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. So, as you guys return to the undercroft of Whitestone, Cassandra carrying you arm in arm, you make your way up through the stairs to the main base floor of Castle Whitestone. Are you guys heading towards your... Where are you heading from here?
I'm gonna head straight for the front door and look in... Is there like a balcony?
I know, like a balcony or something.
You can check for the second floor if you want to.
Overviews the city.
Is there
You have a pretty high view, like it's already elevated on the top, so even from a ground floor area, you can look down into the city.
Front door.
Front door?
What's up, Perfunctionist? Look, I've heard that CR fans are used to getting through big backlogs, so... But I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. It is a long journey. I'm hoping to have more highlight videos out soon so that, you know, people can get through it quicker. But I appreciate you. I'm here totally spaced on stream. No problem. No problem at all. Mega drop table chat. I don't think that will work, Daniel. But yeah, no, it's a good time. Good to have you here. I appreciate you joining.
Whatever.
Right, right up to the front door, being careful of the scattered caltrops you guys left there. The door's still ajar from where you left it. As you step out and look into the daylight, and it's at this point now probably mid-afternoon, pushing into evening. You guys have been traveling underground for quite some time and taking a few short rests and had a lot of conflict and things happen. So you started the day. You're now pushing in towards dusk. But as you open up and look outside, with daylight is still there, you see little plumes of smoke coming from the far city. You see down the path that leads up to Castle Whitestone. You see about 70 to 100 armored humanoids marching up towards the front of the castle.
Humanoids.
Bipedal.
I'll pick up my caltrops.
You begin to figure out drops.
20 minutes.
Oh no.
I know what this is.
Well, they're good guys.
Okay,
Yeah, undead army.
make perception check.
No, they're good.
I know what this is. Do I need to
They're
roll perception if I
fine.
know what it is?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Wow. 19? Minus
20.
27. 19.
15.
All right. As you guys kind of get your...
Dude, imagine if they're like, I know what this is. It's the Draconian Knights. Tiberius did it. They're here. They've saved the revolution.
Weapons at the ready, what you?
25, sorry.
25, okay. Percy and Bax, you notice that people approaching, spattered in mud and very...
Thank you very much for the sub, Mustang. The 1 month, I guess. I'm not used to that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The cavalry is here. The Draconian Knights.
types of ichor or blood. As they get closer, you can see beneath the helmets tired human faces.
Oh,
Stepping up the side, weapons at the ready. As they approach the very front of the line, you see Keeper Yenin, equally exhausted, stepping forward, essentially ready to storm the castle. You see behind them as they approach a scattered cluster of broken corpses. Some human, some a little less human. It looks like the rebellion army seems to have cut its way through the remaining defenders of Castle Whitestone and are making their way towards the front of the castle. As they get closer, they meet your gaze, and the front of the group draw their weapons. And Yenin kind of steps forward a little bit. You there! Percival!
I step forward.
Vox Machina! Are your wits about you?
Yes.
Yes.
You know it.
Briarwood's dead.
It's true.
Serpent's head has been cut off, but there is much to do.
Is it still cloudy?
a little cloudy. It's not like rainstorm ready, but it's there's still kind of an overcast feel.
I'm gonna go ahead and, at third level, because that's all I've got left, cast Skywrite again and throw up the Dorolo crest once again in the sky.
Okay. As you begin to coalesce the clouds into the symbol and the shape, you see a bunch of soldiers look up around, and Yanin steps forward again towards you and goes, kind of reaching up, holding his holy symbol of Wrath to his chest, goes, "Are you certain this is done, Percival?"
There's still a great evil beneath the castle, but the Briarwoods are no more.
He turns around, looks to his men, who are all looking at him expectantly. "Well, you heard the man. The Briarwoods are dead. Whitestone is free once more." He looks up at the sky as the symbol finishes from Keelan's spell. "The Dorolos are in power once again!" At which point the entire crowd shouts, "Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!" with the weapons to the sky. And as the shouts begin to echo down into the valley of Whitestone, you can see little lights begin to burn in the distance. Little notification lanterns that are being lit and set at window tops at the top of the mountain. And you can see this look of relief and joy on every soldier's face as they all realize that the death they were all marching to face is no longer a threat. Cassandra, at this point, is still standing kind of behind you at your side. And really, for the first time since all of this went down beneath, you see a smile on her face. Yen turns around again and approaches you all.
Oh, man.
I don't know what to say.
The beacons are... I'm not going to look at how many episodes are left in this arc, but I also don't know that would tell me anyways. But, like, something still... I mean... Obviously, Cassandra was just like a straight-up collaborator. We all know that. And I'm just not sure. Like, I feel like at this point, they're just gonna leave Whitestone in Cassandra's hands, because I think that Percy's gonna keep being an adventurer. And I do not know how much I trust that. Oh my gosh, new management. They were 75% dead to start. It wasn't that much work. She had Matt make him live as long as Vex. That's around 250 years, lol. Guess poor Trink is lucky she's not pure elf. Yeah, true. I guess I don't know. I think it's been told to me at one point, which no need to confirm or deny, but I believe that Scanlan is like one of the oldest in the party. It's very weird with just like fantasy parties in general. Like, age is so much more in how characters act and like maturity than it is in actual age, because of all the elf, like, weird age time span BS.
Come, there is much to discuss. Let us step from this dark place for the time being.
Yes.
Men, walk through, make sure it's clean. And
No.
There's still a matter of some things beneath the castle that we must deal with first.
No one should be allowed in for right now until we figure this out.
Oh.
Men, seal the door,
1 second. A hair tie. Must have fallen out when we were moving things. I don't know where she got it. I know, that's what I'm saying. I think it must have fallen out like while we were moving things. Woo! Dog was chewing on a hair tie, which, if you don't know, are very dangerous for anything with intestines. And so I just had to be very, very calm, because she has a habit of, if we approach her too fast and with too much panic, that she will try to swallow whatever is in her mouth. So, needed to take that away. Sam is completely believable for everything he says, after all. Yeah, obviously. Totally. But gnomes... Sorry, spoilers. Wait, is that... Okay. So I don't think that is spoilers, but also I still read it if it's, don't. Oh, I meant no spoilers. Okay. That's what I was confused. I was like, I don't think that's a spoiler. Okay, yeah. Gnomes age pretty close to elves, right? They can live 1,000 years. I think so. I don't know the exact like time span of the races. It also like it depends largely on your campaign setting and world. So it's, you know, it's hard. It's hard to say. Like, I think that in, like, the gnomes and elves in Eberron, I think age differently to those in, like, Forgotten Realms or, what was 3.5's Greyhawk? So it's, I don't know, it's hard, to know. I'm playing a Wood Elf in my own campaign. I had to create a table in Google Sheets to figure out elf to human year conversion rates. Elf is 2015, but appears 36 in human years. Yeah, it's weird because, like, also, like, age is not a direct corollary to maturity. Like, you know, some species, like, reach maturity at, like, different rates than humans. So age is just a really funky concept. And I think most tables that I've seen or been at just kind of sweep it under the rug, unless it is something like really distinct and like, you know, impactful. But if, you know, they're just like generally like middle-aged, like it just kind of gets swept under the rug, or like young, early middle-aged. Does D&D general lore count as spoilers? No, not general. And I mean, I know most of the general stuff, but like the Vecna, like left hand stuff, you know, that would be like, oh, that's like, you know, like people said like, oh, that's a D&D thing, and I was like, okay, like that's fine, but you know, be like, if anyone had said Vecna, that would not have been, you know, would not. But I think that's, you know, a relatively clear line. How long do snowy elves live? 6.5 books. Oh God. Don't make us sweat, lol. Depends, Ronk. Yeah, gnome years, he's the same as them. Seen people keep saying elves live thousands of years, but in a lot of campaigns, it don't feel like they do. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Is it's like, I think in most, because right, if you actually sit down and think about the actual lifespan of an elf, just the fact that they live so much longer would represent such a alien society that it would probably be hard for us to understand. Like, that has so many implications on like how you run a society. If people can live that much longer and remember that much more, like it would have a very distinct impact on how real those things feel. And so I think most people rightly just sweep it under the rug. But, for example, like Tolkien in Lord of the Rings has, you know, that is like a very central part of like the elves kind of don't care about like the whole conflict. They're like, yeah, we're immortal, like whatever. They're like, it's just like kind of not a big deal to them. And like that is probably a tone that a lot of the longer lived races would have if you took their age ranges like seriously as a DM. They wouldn't have like that exact tone, but they might have something similar, you know? So it's very, very hard. Sorry, mods, my effing nails are long in using voice chat. Yeah, fair enough. And C1 Scale has not said what his age is. Let's keep the knowledge of what's known when these episodes first aired, yeah. BTW denouement, the title, is a film term for a climactic ending of a movie. I do film studies, so when I saw that, I did a whole Spider-Man pointing meme. Interesting. I mean, that's cool. That's good to know. Vecna, more like heck nah. What about Vecna's soda drinking hat? He was number one. The series Freerin really helped me put into perspective how elves can be alive for 200 plus years but still start out at the same level. They process time differently, so they just don't do anything. Well, that's kind of where I'm going with this, Cabium, is like, if you actually like sit down and like try to like, you cannot picture what it is like to live that much longer at like, you know, the same level of like adulthood and maturity. It would be a completely different mindset. Oh, rip. I'm assuming things are back, and we're back. Refresh. Oh, weird. I don't know why Twitch cut out there. It says unstable. Average stream bitrate is too high. Oh, and YouTube is, I guarantee, going to tell me that it's too low. Oh no, actually, YouTube is telling me that it's okay. So I guess later for next stream, I will turn down the bitrate a little bit, I guess. Especially since I'm now reading book 6 to my kids. Lol. Oh yeah, elves would have an extreme advantage in terms of civilization building, which is why a lot of people who keep it at hundreds of years either have a few elves or they were almost wiped out. Yeah. Imagine how detached from humanity you would be after witnessing 1,000 years of existence. Yeah. Like the way that environments grow back, natural disasters, like any sort of catastrophe, like their mindsets would just be fundamentally different than our own. But yeah, a series I read has a big theme about humans driving the world more than immortal beings because they're so short-lived. Yeah. Sometimes I get temporarily angry at D&D elves because they live 2 to 10 times longer than people and yet still require half as much sleep. Yeah, elves are crazy, man. That's why I've always said that I don't like when there was like a big drama about like changing it from race to species. I am perfectly fine with just changing it off of race in general because it implies that these things are the same, and they are so not. Like, elves don't sleep. They can cast magic just naturally, just at will, and they live for hundreds and like orders of 2 to 10 times, not orders of magnitude, but like 2 to 10 times longer than humans. Like, shit's not the same species. Even if you can breed, it's probably gonna be a mule situation because that shit is not the same species, not at all. So, like, you know, I think I've seen people want them to be, like, origins. That's fine. Who cares? I was going to make Ren Frinrin in the VOD comments later. Ah, nice. Gotcha. Assist fun, please. It's good now. Is the multi-chat not working? No. No, multi-chat's working, I think. There's just not as much talk in the Twitch chat. Because there's, I mean, like 40 people in the YouTube versus 8 in the Twitch. But it's hard for a 30-year-old to imagine life at 40, and vice versa. It's hard for, an 80-year-old to even imagine what life is like at 20 anymore. Like, it's hard for them to remember that, really. Well, it's like the Ashari were started by elves. Keyless Aramente is a long time. In between, the leader is rendered practically immortal. It's because of the Elves have the same leader. I don't know about any of that, Jenny. That might be. Yeah, that's you might want to. Like when generally in the chat, probably just don't talk about that much CR stuff unless you are absolutely sure. Like 100% that it has come in the previous like 30 episodes. If you are even minorly unsure, probably don't share it. I do the old humans have the gift of shortened life, which spurs them to work very hard and achieve great things, where elves live a really long time, so they have a lot of historical insight but aren't in any rush. Yeah, sure. I mean, there is a lot of stuff. Not a spoiler, you already saw Pastor Fire Shari. Yeah, but I don't know anything about the leader being immortal. Or Elves. I don't even know what Elves is. I also didn't know that the Ashari were started by elves, I don't think. So yeah. We probably gotta wait until the whole arc is done. I'm only like part of the way through. I thought Yeah, I don't. Apparently not half-elves have families. Not half-elves? I don't know what that means. Elves live a really long time, which is why they have such genetic diversity, because shrunk. Yeah, that is also weird. Twitch doesn't talk as much. Yeah. Elven ancestors in my world were immortal prior to the destruction of Tablets of Fate, so their societal norms were built around an infinitely no-rush attitude. Yeah. And there are all sorts of ways to go about like making it work, but I think a lot of tables just kind of choose to ignore it, honestly. Also, the rapid turnover of generations of humans explains why there are so many branches of their evolution. Genasi, Aasimar, Tieflings. I mean, yes. Sort. It depends on the thing. I don't know that Genasi, Aasimar, and Tieflings are all like kind of specifically not just like genetically evolved. They had outside meddling, you know? But I do generally agree. Avoid info dumps. She talks about it constantly. That's a theory. She is, I don't know that she's, I mean, like, you know, I maybe she talks about it more later, but like, haven't really heard much from her outside of the Vasselheim arc. Like, outside of them actually interacting with the people, with the Ashari, I haven't really heard her talk about it almost ever. I thought it was a normal D&D thing that druids past a certain level are basically immortal. Same with monks. Monks, their body doesn't age, and druids, it depends. But again, like when we talk about like normal D&D lore, it really depends on the setting you're talking about. So like, I believe in Forgotten Realms, most archdruids are relatively immortal. But like I don't think that's a thing in like Greyhawk or Eberron, to my knowledge. So it generally depends. Like, I don't know what Exandria's stuff is. We haven't had the full Exandria lore explanation for Druid's shenaniganry. Yeah, basically. Because like there's a lot that's different in Exandria, partially because of the Pathfinder switch, where a lot of Exandria lore is like is 5e lore, but also some of it's Pathfinder and some of it's just mat specials. Like it's all very, I'm not, you know, I don't know any of the lore for certain or not for certain. Like, you know, guns exist. So it's hard to know. In 5e, getting to level 18 means you age 1 year for every 10 years you live. There we go. That's Archdruid 5e shit. But anyways, so if you're a human who would live to 85, you would become an Archdruid at 69. Instead of 16 more years, you'd have 160. Okay. So it you know, what is you know, plot, Critical Role lore versus, you know, D&D lore is tough to say, because like a lot of the stuff that Percy has been doing is all like very classic like warlock shit, but he is not a warlock to my knowledge. I don't think he has any warlock levels. So like clearly they are willing to subvert mechanical lore a lot of the time. I finally get a feel firsthand why these streams last 6 hours. Yeah, I'm talking a little bit more to chat than normal, but only a little bit more. Yeah. Druid aging is after level 18, yeah. Especially stuff about Grog's college years or Scanlan in space. Scanlan in space!
The entrances, keep watch.
We really need to rest.
Then come. You've certainly earned it.
Oh, it is Ron Quixote? Well, welcome. I didn't recognize. Yeah. Please always tell me when it's your first stream. I appreciate knowing. Welcome. Good to have you.
And he motions to a few of the
What
guards.
time of day is it? You said the sun's after, is the sun still up, or is it like?
The sun is still up, but you can see like right from the light source and the darkening of the sky and the color pushing from like a general kind of white grace going a little more reddish orange.
Before we take a rest, I am going to look at Percy. I'm gonna be like, I'll catch up with you guys. I think the people need to see the sun, and I'm gonna go into my.
No, Jay Harris, I think that was asked earlier, and I said I was fine with that. I would still generally ask, like, you know, if you're worried that something's a spoiler, ask in the Discord, but I said that specifically, you know, like, player build stuff is okay with me. But, yeah, no. I think if you're concerned, ask the Discord, but that one's fine. Would love to see the Monsters University equivalent of Grog and Scanlan. That would be fucking awesome. Or just Grog and Pike growing up. Like a little like short about like Grog and Pike's like more adolescent years. Completely forgot we started the episode. Thought we were still in pre-video talk.
Air elemental form.
Lol.
Go up into the sky above Whitestone and do my whirlwind ability and start trying to just push all of the clouds out of the way to let the sun in.
As you guys begin.
It's frozen in a beautifully
So-
surprised expression.
But she can still hear us. She can still hear
Oh,
us.
she can hear us when she's frozen.
So as
It's a surprise!
you guys begin to march down towards the city with the rest of the army, a group of about 10 men stay behind just to guard the castle. As you make your way to the northern side of Whitestone, and you enter the streets again, you can see families beginning to walk out of their homes in the streets. In the entirety of your time here in Whitestone, most folks that didn't need to be out in the open stayed indoors, and you begin to realize this seeming ghost city was hiding a lot more life and a lot more hope than you expected. As you begin to see families and children stepping out, and as you walk through the streets, you can see the kids wave. You meet eyes with some of the possible widows. Ralph, do you thank you?
Seeing that,
Some of that
can we
grog.
pass by the alcove? Seeing that, I'm gonna do the buddy arm around the shoulder and pull my sister in and walk away.
I walk up to a particularly handsome widow and I say,
God, oh God.
your husband...
Pike is right here.
Oh. Your husband died for a good cause. Thanks.
Pike is shocked. Pike is shocked and
that
offended.
you would
Sorry, Pike. Why are you looking at me like that, Pike? Pike, stop it! Stop it, Pike!
As you walk away, she looks really confused and kind of clutches her chest in horror for a moment. As one of the soldiers walking with you kind of steps by your side, looking at you curiously, and gives her a kiss on the cheek. And just, what was that?
Oh, sorry.
Can we definitely want to go stop by the alcove?
Okay. You eventually start making your way towards the alcove as you enter deeper into the city.
Pike, you there? Can you hear us?
Have I cleared
He's getting so many more stickers on the bottom of his tankard. Like every time I see it, it's just more and more stickers.
half of the sky at this point?
We
we're
can,
gonna
we
get
can
that
see
right
her
now,
now, but not
I
hear
guess
her.
that.
As you guys are stepping... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Pushing further in, you can see now the clouds beginning to dissipate, and for the first time since you've been here, you see blue sky directly above the city. The vibrant orange, red, purple colors of the sunset now come cascading upon the city of Whitestone, and there's a collective kind of an inhale and gasp of awe from the soldiers and the people alike as this opens up above you. You begin to walk past the alcove to your left, if you wish to.
I want to stop in.
Okay. As you start heading towards the alcove, you can see Jordana is already out on the front stoop looking up at the sky. And she looks over and sees you. Percival.
I give her a big hug.
She takes a surprise at the moment and then just kind of gives it and continues to give a hug back.
This would not have been possible without your help. Thank you for everything.
Of course. Of course. She just kind of leans into the hug a little bit, then nods and then releases you. Did you see my father?
I have not. We have not searched the castle yet, though.
We just left
Just
it.
left
We
it?
haven't searched
Well,
the
it's sealed up. It'll be
We've
okay.
We sealed his
searched
hands.
a little
Oh, shit.
Man, I'm watching Matt's expression as we talk to every potential collaborator of it's like, what, how is he playing Yedin? How is he playing Jordana? Like, and right there, I thought I saw a little something. I thought I saw him look a little uncomfortable when playing Jordana. Is it because she's a collaborator?
5 people in there when you sealed it?
We don't know. Well, it's
still
not like
don't
it's not airtight or anything. I mean, they're breathing. This is
Ripley's gone and also...
Oh my gosh, yeah, get some sleep. Have a good night. Yeah, no, please get some sleep. Hope you have a good one. Kima in disguise. Oh, Kima in disguise, obviously. But, you know, we already knew that.
There's a Goliath on the loose.
As you say this, Gabriel goes, not anymore, there isn't. Follow me.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
are there any young boys around?
He stops in his tracks, looks over his shoulder and goes, what?
I just need a young, fleet-footed boy.
See, the last time I asked for a young boy, people gave me shit too.
no, we're gonna give him shit. There's no problem here.
He slowly turns away and keeps walking forward.
Or a girl. No, wait, it sounds weird.
No, you can't say it in the right way. It's impossible.
No.
Innocent request.
The people have begun following behind your procession towards the center of the city.
Bring me your smallest, most helpless child.
Oh my god.
That's gonna explode.
All right, show us what you want to show us, Yenin.
You see behind you soldiers reuniting with their families, friends gathering in the streets, and the people of Whitestone are now beginning to join the sides of your procession towards the center, the Sun Square in the middle of Whitestone. As you crest into the outskirts of the square, Yenin gives a couple of whispered orders to a couple of soldiers to rush off. You can see people are now gathering in the center, and there's actually people gathering around the sun tree.
Yeah, these are clearly all Kima simulacrums, and they're all no disguised self. Yeah, you're right. Also, what up, Tenorio?
As they all step to the sun tree, he's a little quiet, and Spothian reaches up and pulls his holy symbol of Arathis again. Looks up at the tree, looks back at the rest of you, and goes, "For generations, it was those of the Zenith who looked over this tree, and these people here. And it was by the evil that once held foot in this town that Father Rhino, the last of his line, was slain. We will work to find those who wish to take up the mantle, to clean, rebuild the Zenith, the pinnacle, the Pillow's grace here in Whitestone. But until that, I, Yenin, swear to make this tree's safety my responsibility. This symbol of hope, this center of the crest of your family, has held the slivers of light in our hearts for a very long time.
All right, maybe he's
Let
good.
us all take a moment and thank the heroes who made this freedom possible. To the strong mountain of joy, of bravery, Grog. To the gentle, to the kind, to the just soul, Pike.
Oh.
To the swift of bow, keen of sight, and the most adorable creature to accompany her as she steps forward and nuzzles your side. Drink it. By the agility, by the cunning, by the loyalty of Vax. By the cleverness, by the wit, and the
Handsomeness?
strange interests of Scanlan. By the honesty, by the nature and connection of the world, and the wonder of Keyleth. And by the strength of blood, from the willingness to sacrifice. Pardon me.
Not that one again?
Still very beautiful.
Dude, I feel that Erdturn Mons. Like, I am sometimes, like this sort of scene is very tropey and not in a bad way necessarily. Like, I know a lot of people like really love this sort of scene. Doesn't do much for me. Cause like, frankly, Yenin, you don't know us from a fucking hole in the road. Like, we've talked about 3 times, and most of the time that we fought, it was out of your line of sight. It was out of most people's line of sight. So, like, I don't know how the fuck he knows all about Vax's loyalty and Scanlan's strange interest besides the fact that he just asked for a boy. I don't know. But I also definitely agree with Erdturn of, like, if you are gonna do this sort of thing, yeah, you get one thing. You each get one adjective. Maybe Laura gets adjective plus bear. But it... Yeah. Wait, what if Trinket is a spy? No, not Trinket. I will never believe it. Trinket is the only one that isn't Kima. Everyone else is Kima, but not Trinket. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I don't know. We love a Star Wars A New Hope moment, yeah. Then Yenin stabs the tree and everyone gasps in awe as it explodes. Yeah, that's what I'm just waiting for, yeah. But you're also right, Perfunctionist, it really was just bow plus bear. Oh my god. Yenin is brown nosing. I mean, kinda, yeah. He's like, holy shit, these assholes took out the Briarwoods? Oh man, yeah, Chiefs. We are good. Yeah, you guys are all fucking awesome. I love it. You guys are all so sick. I love you. I did not think this would work at all, and now that you're here, what's up, my man? Oh my god. Trinket gets all the adjectives. He's such a sandbag. Is referencing Trinket's real identity as Knick-Knack a spoiler? No idea what Knick-Knack is. This whole time you thought Trinket was a bear, but he was an enemy twink the whole time. Mega, a few of us think your mic audio is a scoosh louder than the CR. Got it. Can fix. Because we were at like half volume on there. So there we go. I think it's cool, though, to have some mythology built around your party after you do something cool. Something that carries you on to the next thing, Saviors of Whitestone. Oh, yeah, I don't disagree. And, like, an amount of, like, mythology is difficult. It is difficult to pull off in a way that I don't roll my eyes at. I'm just a huge critic of this type of thing. So for me, it is hard to do it well, but I don't think it's like the hardest thing to do well for most players. This is like a particular me thing, I think. But I normally try to do it through like newspapers. I often have like an out of game thing called the rumor mill, which I've gotten off. I started doing it in my current BitD campaign. But then I haven't been doing it near like the past few sessions, and I really need to get back to it because I love doing that sort of thing. And that's one of the ways that I use to build up mythology. Or I have the people that know them well. Like this sort of speech, it's hard because it wouldn't really make sense from Cassandra, but like this sort of adjective slurry. Or like Cassandra telling the people about Vox Machina and her experience with them down in the depths. I think that is maybe more, not realistic, but it feels better to me, I think, if like Cassandra was giving this sort of fight rather than some random bro. The best thing that could have happened in Yenen's speech was the improv fart joke. A little bit, yeah.
Here's a sitcom. I can hold this all day.
Percival's just waiting for his introduction.
To the stone cold motherfucker.
To the return of those valiants we once thought lost, and those who rise up to restore the joy of these people. Percival, may we raise
yeah, Erter, that can totally work. Yeah, I think anything written often can sound more flowery like this without sounding stupid. I think that when someone gives this kind of speech, to me, it just sounds a little bit eye-rolly. But that could just be a me thing. Developing a reputation in-world is more impactful than a blunt speech from an NPC who essentially requires meta-knowledge to speak on your character. Yeah, but that development of the reputation is legitimately difficult, and I don't want to discount players that do like that sort of blunt, heroic speech. Like, D&D is classically a very, like, high fantasy, like heroes and villains type of game. And I think that especially a lot of people who played older school D&D, or I don't want to say old school D&D was essentially like that, but like 5e is very much like heroic fantasy. So if you're into that, you know, that it can work. I was at a table once where like I wasn't really into it, but a lot of the other players were into that sort of shit. So I don't want to discount them, but if you're in maybe a more grounded world or grounded table, working on developing those rumors more organically or that reputation more organically is I think better. The humor lessens the blow of the trope in this instance. Yeah, that's true. Critical Role also has an audience to cater to, so there's a certain element of showmanship in regards to the narrative that home games don't necessarily need to showcase. Yeah, and I think that, like, especially, like, there can be a certain amount of, like, someone talking really highly of someone else that you really like. Like, I think that everyone has been more excited for everyone else's descriptions, and I think that also kind of applies to the audience of, like, the audience just likes hearing people talk about how cool Grog is, you know? So there is that level of performance. I don't know how significant it is, if they would have done this sort of thing at their home table or not. But I think this scene in context makes sense and is even necessary, but it makes me cringe. Yeah. I wrote an Ember Island player's style play about the stuff my party did. They still haven't seen it. Oh, that's so cool. That was one of my favorite things. I have a thing called the rumor mill that I used to do a lot in person. And I have like a version of it that I do online. That is all about, like, generating rumors of what the party has done, very Ember Island style, or like Thor Ragnarok. I think it's Thor Ragnarok where they're doing the Loki play. Yeah, very much that style of, like, their events, but they're all very twisted. I love that shit. That's, like, one of my favorite things to do in campaigns. And it's honestly sad, especially BitD is a system that is so built for that shit. And it's kind of a shame I've let it go by the wayside, which, you know, has just been busy boy. But yeah, I love doing that sort of stuff because it helps them feel like they are developing a reputation while not necessarily feeling like celebrities, which I think is a really fine line to walk. And sometimes people want to feel like celebrities, which I think that this sort of speech goes much more towards that, like, celebrity adventurer type of feeling. But other times people want to develop a reputation and they want to be known, but they don't necessarily want to be celebrities, which I think the rumor Atla Ember Island goes a lot more towards. Yeah. Just makes me think of Atlas scene where they see a play of their own exploits. That is, I believe that's what Sponge is referring to when he says Ember Island. I could be wrong about that, but I believe Ember Island is the Atla play. Yeah. But yes, I totally agree.
Weapons, our glasses, and our children who accept this future to rebuild. Raise to Vox Machina. And everyone raises up loud.
And then everyone claps.
As the sun slowly sets, the light coming through, beautiful colors now, you see what was once a very bleak town suddenly be renewed with a spectrum of new accents.
Yeah, that's so embarrassing for you, Hans. I've never not understood a media reference that's been put in chat before. Could it be me? I don't get whooshed at least 20 times an episode. It's how embarrassing for you to miss that one reference.
Hear music being played as now the celebration begins. The sun setting. Folks are turning this into a full celebration now. People are starting to bring out food and
block party.
There is this you feel this sense that this is the first time in a long time that people have ever really been allowed to be happy about something, and the energy is infectious in itself.
Oh. That's cute.
As the celebration begins, though, Yenin puts up his hand and people begin to slow and calm as men begin to bring forward two individuals in chains. Ooh. One of which you see is a half-orc female in dark brown leather armor. She is chained and thrown onto her knees to the ground, and she kind of spits. You can see there's a few cuts across her face, and she looks kind of dirty. And right next to her, taking 4 men to do so, a Goliath, who's bruised, is also thrown onto his knees. And they're both kind of just held at that place. Yenin says, "The two remaining new nobles, given power here as they aided the Briarwoods in taking the city. We have Duke," which people spit at the sound of the name, "Goran Vedmeyer, and Countess Jasna Greben. You have been found guilty of treason against this town, of the responsibility of many lives lost innocent, and for furthering the plans of the evil that has oppressed us so long. I would wish that you, the ones who freed us, deliver the judgment."
Come on.
No, that sounds fair. I've known to preside over many
Oh boy.
legal matters in my time as Judge Face of Northwind.
Dude, Grog just wants blood. All of them are like, no, don't put us in a moral quandary right now. And Grog is like, ha ha ha, I get you to chop heads off.
Define legal.
Define junk.
No, it would just baffle all of you. It's all right.
Grog, if I may. I can help. I can assist you in this if you'd like.
Oh, why, of course, Sub-Judge Scanlon.
Thank you, Grog. Percival, this is your kingdom, so
I leave it to you.
No.
What?
No.
Yes.
What?
You're the
Better.
leader.
these two have done much violence to this place. They represent all that is evil.
Wait. And Gorin, who's now down on the ground, looks up. He goes, "Oh no, you."
Never saw you before, friend.
This is what I really want to see.
You have a lovely house, by the way, or had one.
Sits to the ground at your feet.
Might need a new roofer. Anyway, in a show of grace and to demonstrate a new hope that we have for this place, I suggest that we don't kill these two,
What?
but rather force them to help rebuild the place that they just helped destroy.
Really good dialogue timing on Travis Willingham there. Like, right in the Sam Regal breath of, you go, whoa. And doesn't say anything more, doesn't talk over him. That's fucking comedic timing right there.
In
chains.
chains.
In chains.
Very heavy chains.
They are, one of them at least is extremely strong. The other one must have some sort of skill.
She, the first time, looks up with this kind of gnarly, toothy grin. You can see these partially broken and jagged teeth in her mouth, and she just goes, "Come closer. I've never tasted gnome."
Okay, so maybe we'll kill her.
Yeah. What kind of weapons did these two have on them?
The men talk about themselves, and Yenin kind of not entirely certain. However, she has been known to carry a quiver or two, and this one here wields a blade as long as his body.
The Briarwoods are broken and gone. You can die today, or you can take your licks and help rebuild this city. No one is here to protect you or save you. You can work hard. Start again.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage, based on their current circumstance.
Intimidation instead of persuasion?
Well, whichever you prefer.
That's terrible.
Its average is 13.
13? Okay. You can see the Goliath head mark lowers his head. Or accept.
That was easy. I mean, fair enough.
Seems you lack what has kept me alive all these years. A spine. Kill me, I'd rather not stay at your beck and call.
Okay. Grog? I reach over and I take out my great axe and I aim it for the neck.
Okay, did you swing or just aim it?
Yeah, swing for the neck. Beheading style.
Just now, but make a strength check.
Natural 20.
See how clean it is.
Oh my god.
Merry Christmas, Travis.
As you pull the axe out, and you kind of walk alongside with it, almost like a cane. Kind of look down at her.
Yeah, like
And with speed and deftness, where no one sees the blade make contact, there is a moment where the head just drifts off the form, leaving the base, the throat, cleanly cleaving.
Fucking anime villain.
She paid the iron
Or not anime villain, anime.
There's a moment of pause
hero.
before the blood begins to pour from the wound. It was so fast and so immediate, and the body just slumps forward. There's a gasp in the crowd, suddenly, and then a cheer as the most.
Oh, fair is fair. I mean, okay, so this is something that is, I think, hard when it comes to like fantasy villains and fantasy morality in general. This is someone who was very clearly, I think, probably a vampire, maybe a cannibal, maybe both. I wonder if she's gonna pop into mist right now. But they have not only, like, they are not like normal, I shouldn't say normal, but they are not like human oppressors by like our scale of things. Oh, hi. Oh, hey. Oh, you got confused. Hey. They are not like human scale oppressors, right? They are people that like saw like atrocities committed that we are not even capable of committing as like normal humans. And they probably have power to escape any individuals that are not as powerful as Vox Machina. Like, that is one of the, I don't want to say the problems, but that is one of the kind of consequences of this type of fantasy, where you can have very, very, very powerful adventurers that aren't distinctly unique in any sort of way, right? Like, Vox Machina, it's not like they're all the chosen ones or anything. Like, anyone can theoretically get as powerful as every member of Vox Machina. We've already seen it addressed with the young kid that Vax, like, conks on the head. I don't remember his name. Kynan? So, if these are very powerful individuals, you either have to have a world where powerful individuals are relatively common, which it seems like is maybe the case for Exandria, and you have to have confirmed other powerful people to watch these people, and even then, we know from distinct experience that people have shit like Dimension Door, where they can maybe just poof away. So, it is very, very hard to justify the risk of imprisonment or rehabilitation for incredibly powerful villains, unless there is some sort of magical reason that they were villainous in the first place. If they just chose to be villainous and they are incredibly powerful, you have to really justify why the party shouldn't just kill them. Because what are they going to do? Trust all of the grunts and citizens of Whitestone to watch them? Like, these fools took over Whitestone once. They could probably do it again with or without the Briarwoods, if they want to. So that is... Like I said, it is a weird consequence of, like, the type of game that D&D is, unless you're playing really low fantasy or you're playing, like, a situation where, like, the party is very unique in their power. You know what I'm saying? But is she old? That is also an important consideration. Yeah. Also, she is awake. Also that. How much emotional damage do you think Vedmire took when he got shoved off the roof by a tiny gnome? Yeah, there's definitely some psychic damage involved there. I agree.
Because now see one of the people that probably oppressed, tortured, and killed many of their folk now lies in the ground. What's killed?
I kind of look at...
Yeah, that. Also, it's been about 2 hours. And the dog is making eyes at me like she might need to go to the bathroom, and I have to go to the bathroom. So. Oh, wait, you can't even see that. So. Seems like it might be a good time to go to the bathroom. So, we're going to take a quick BRB break, get some water, fill up. Yep, I heard you, doggy. I got you. Fill up your water, and we will be right back. Goodbye.
Oh,
What's up? Alrighty.
I kind of look at the axe and I look at the blood, kind of.
You get absolutely no time to waste. No time to. Whoa, we're gonna chit and we're gonna chat. We got shit, Tardo. Let's get back to it.
Covering it, and I look over at
Duke.
Duke Gonad, and I say, "So, where are you from, and how did you come to be in the service of the Briarwoods?"
I was hired in Wildmount.
You all know where that is?
You don't.
Why are you asking
You've
him?
heard it said before. You've heard it mentioned, but you have no idea where it is.
Right, the Holy Lands of the Sacred. All right.
Are you okay, Your Honor?
Yeah, yes, thank you for. I am quite tired. Would you like to take it from here?
The table where we always must dispense our justice. This is now a town of mercy as well.
Yes.
And I will expect nothing less from all of us than to give what we have lacked for so long. Duke.
Let hers be the last bloodshed.
And
Yeah, BG3 doesn't really suit the vibe of Stardew, yeah.
earn your life again.
He nods and kind of looks down. You can't tell if it's shame or just defeat, but his shoulders slump, and that little bit of fire that was in him when he arrived is broken. The men look at you, they get your nod, and they lift up the chains and pull him off, while a couple of the men take up the body of the half-orc woman and pull him out of the crowd. The music swells up once again, and the celebration continues without a beat. You can now see tables being brought out to the center, and classes.
Yeah, nothing like a revolution celebration, like a couple of executions. That really gets the crowd riled up.
Set about, and drinks are being poured as a giant central table right at the base of the sun tree is set for you.
Hey, it's a feast.
They've just had this shit in
I
like
love
Tupperware
feasts.
contained, like in those
They're
big
ready to
bins,
go,
just like
man.
in the back for the last 5 years with like duct tape.
It's not like a grand meal. There isn't a lot to prepare for it, but there is basically what it looks like is whoever was preparing dinner, whatever food was readily
Just bring
available,
it out.
they're just bringing it out. It's more like a share with whoever's there type.
Oh, it's a potluck.
Kind of.
I find a young boy,
Yes, Ken?
or a soldier, and I give him 15 gold, and I say, for the love of God, find me a fucking beret.
All right, sir. And the boy takes the gold and rushes.
Okay, I would put it on right now, but I don't know where it went in the chaos of us of us reorganizing. We literally finished reorganizing the layout at like 4:30, ate dinner, and then I got on stream. Like, otherwise I would put it on.
He's off, kind of looking at his hands, the boon he's been given by this practically same height man. You don't see gnomes here very often. It's been very confusing.
No one is.
All right.
I want to take some time to tell Keeper Yenin about what is beneath the tree and let him start to macerate some theories on what to do with it.
Macerate?
He
That's a big word.
after you finish the conversation, he sits there and
Word for big name. Thank you. Do it.
a few moments pass before the boy returns. In his hand, a raspberry beret. At a second-hand store.
Yeah, make it look cooler on it because he made it dorky.
I don't think it's a beret. I don't think he made it dorky. I think it comes with that already sewn in.
There it is. There it is. Looks good. It looks good, Skyblade.
Thank you, young boy. Whatever your name was. What was your name, young boy?
Randall?
Thank you, Randall. You've made me a very happy small man.
He brings you the change.
Oh no, keep the change. It's all right. Go buy yourself a goose, the biggest goose in town.
With a beret.
He darts off excitedly.
Goose.
You catch him out of the corner of your eye, like stealing a swig of
Brandon
beer.
Gilmore. That was his young name.
Brandon Gilmore.
Yes.
Take a break.
Oh my
So after you finish regaling this tale to Keeper Yenin, let's see if I have a proper song for his celebration.
I'm doing my best to empty the cask of ale into the town patrons and
That's,
myself.
I don't know if that's
Warm Springs.
less aviary than celebratory.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Less aviary.
That's okay. We'll stick with the peaceful set there.
Can Keyleth go over and check out the sun tree?
Sure. As you're walking over there, we'll finish this conversation here. Yenin, I know some stuff on this. That is disconcerting. I'll reach out to a few of my contacts, see who we can bring here to inspect it. I may go down tomorrow myself and have a look. Is it safe?
No. There are traps. We've marked them. It's also disturbing.
Right. I'll bring a trusted team down then. If there's anyone you know who has vast historical or arcane knowledge, I would recommend possibly having them come take a look as well. Unfortunately, I'm rather limited in my teachings.
Pike?
Laura.
Oh, but she's not in town.
We can send word.
Tiberius.
Randarian.
Esco?
There is Esco Randarian, the Archmage in Western.
We have
Didn't he go on it?
Yes.
Oh no, that's go soon.
Good, yes. And anyone at all. Maybe I'll be able to glean something, but unfortunately most of our books were confiscated when the town was taken. However, I appreciate that, and at least for the time being, there doesn't seem to be any dead rising from the grave.
If I may, Percy, can I make a suggestion?
Nervous
throwing the rest of my
laugh.
guns into a
No, but it
basket.
will be spending some of your kingdom's money.
replacing the guns that you threw into a pit of acid.
Let's not talk about the guns.
I really can't think of what else I'd want to talk about, but please, go ahead.
If most of their books have been taken from them, perhaps we could use some of the treasury to build a library.
It's not a terrible idea, and it's possible that the books are still within the
It's
castle.
possible that the Briarwoods have hoarded all of them. In fact, we might find something about this entity inside the castle.
And we do need to build 3 new structures where the lords' houses were, and I find the idea of rebuilding those mansions to be a bit distasteful.
Perhaps we could even name one of the libraries.
Not after you, no.
Gilmore's Glorious Books.
Set up a satellite.
An opportunity for a franchise.
We'll discuss it. It's got a ring, I will admit.
Look, I'm just saying, they're starting to set up the cartel. Gilmore's getting his little fingies in every government because of his sponsorships. The one time, yeah. Probably the first time in like a week that it hasn't been on the bingo. Oh my god, dude. On a music-related... Excuse me. On a music-related note, Mega, you might be interested in a band called Wardruna. If you don't already know about them. Nordic folk music with ties to the metal scene. Ooh, that does sound like my kind of shit. I was prepping the response for like I'm not really into that kind of like music, which I'm still not. But if you did want to hit the type of music I do listen to in my free time, it would be Nordic folk with ties to the metal scene. So I will look into it. I will do that.
Why you guys are having this conversation?
I was just going to add to that. I'm sure the man can help in this city's time of need.
You were doing something as well.
Yes, Keela, at this point, as you walked away from this conversation, you approach the sun tree. It stands there with a little bit of...
Heilung? I don't know Heilung. Wardruna and Heilung. I do not know either.
light as the sun's just now passing over the distant mountain range that surrounds this valley. The sky's growing more purple and dark blue. But now the lights have been lit and the lanterns have been brought to the center. You can see the sun tree in full before you.
I reach up and I put my hand on it. And I cast Commune with Nature. Mm-hmm. Do I gather anything?
What does Commune with Nature do in full?
How's it Commune with Nature?
Essentially...
Oh, look at that! First page you open up to.
Oh!
Okay!
It's like a DM version of Natural 20.
That is. Except he does it all the time.
Okay, so which do you want to know of all the things that you can choose from?
Oh, what are my
You
choices?
choose from terrain or bodies of water in the vicinity, prevalent plants, minerals, animals, or peoples, powerful celestials, fae, fiends, or elementals, or undead within 300 feet of it. Within 3 miles of it. Influence from other planes of existence or buildings.
The influence of other planes in existence sounds promising.
Okay, you gain 3 facts. So, first off, you notice as you touch the sun tree and you cast the spell, whereas previously you felt just dead wood and the lack of any presence, there is a small seed of life in the tree once again.
That's good.
And we'll call that the first one, the given. As you inquire about any other influence from planes of existence, you do sense that at least some element nearby relates to a realm of shadow.
That's obvious.
That's, yeah, sure, okay.
And what's the other one you want to know?
Oh, I get a choice?
Yep.
I didn't know I had a choice.
They look like they're conspiring right now. I would like to once again point out Scanlan's genuinely good planning and person skills, being the first to voice the decision of what to do with the prisoners and then suggesting a library. Yeah. And I think that Scanlan is starting to, I think, come a little bit more into his own as the face when there is more air in the room to talk. I try not to harp on the Tiberius thing too much. It's more of just a joke. But legitimately, less people at the table mean that each of them individually has more time to talk. And I think that Sam is becoming more and more comfortable voicing Scanlan quasi-seriously, and you can see the surprise on the other players' faces when he suggests something that's not a joke. So I think that it's Scanlan, there's like very clear evidence that like Scanlan as a character is becoming better at this. Also, yeah, this is definitely enough for N1. Yeah, no question.
You don't have to ask anything else you want to if you got everything you wanted, but...
I want to know if, God, so many options.
Answering the YouTube chat? Oh! I did miss the So You Like the band Hellong. I have not. I'm sorry. It's weird. The multi-stream is harder to see, but I'm getting used to it. I think it is a skill diff thing. I don't think it is like I need to like implement the technology different. But yes. Yeah, I've never heard of Helyoung. I do like what are they called? Unleash the Archers. Unleash the Archers is cool. I've talked about how I like Feuerschwanz. I think at least. I really like Feuerschwanz. At least I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Those are the ones off the top of my head. There's one that I'm also thinking of that Brothers of Metal, I like. I really like Temperance, but they're an Italian metal band. Anyways. Is that Scanlan is progressing? Yeah, oh yeah. I definitely think Scanlan is progressing. Percy also didn't start branching out roleplay-wise until near when Tiberius left. Yeah, I think I can very much see it. Because a lot of both of their roleplay requires a little bit more substance. You know, it requires a little bit more of a conversation. And one thing I can very much say about Orion as a player is he liked short RP conversations. He didn't mind if they happened frequently. So like I think that's why Grog stood out a lot in the beginning, and Vax is because both of them can do much shorter RP segments. I think a little bit more frequently and easily than maybe like Scanlan or Percy. They both need a little bit more elongated conversations to kind of get there. But Mega, with fewer players, who is going to cast telekinesis when it's not needed? You're so right. You're so right. Did we lose Twitch? Oh shit, we did lose Twitch. Wait. Is it back? Yeah. Okay, we're back. God damn. Okay, yeah. I saw it happen that time. I saw it, and it's the bitrate stuff. I really wish that it was going better, but I need to lower the bitrate apparently because Twitch is freaking out that my bitrate is too high. So I will try cutting the difference between YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully that will make it better. Yes, I've seen Feuerschwanz live. Oh, that'd be so sick. The next time I go to Europe, I really want to make it a priority to see like one of these power metal bands live. But I think the next place I'm going to go is Japan, and that's probably not going to be until like 2026 or something, maybe 2027. Depends on how we're doing financially. But I would love to see something like Feuerschwanz live. Mega likes his power metal. Mega does like his power metal. Mega likes his metal in general. But that is but he's not. It is still like my interest in music is still lower. That's just like the spike area of it. I like 5 bands. And I think they needed to trust in your fellow players to open themselves up. Yeah, I mean, there was a moment that I drew on early on in like Percy opening up, which was when Orion was still around, and Percy said, "I'm sorry" to the rest of the characters, and Orion wrapped it the fuck up. He was like, "Oh yes, I mean that's nothing. I mean you are doing your best, and I think that we all understand. And I am with you, and we will go and we will get the Briarwoods together." And it was just like, to me, it was very clear that Taliesin was not done talking, that Percy wasn't done talking, but Tiberius was. Tiberius Stormwind was done discussing it. So, it's I think that was a layer of trust of like now Scanlan and Taliesin or Sam and Taliesin know that their role play, if they try to do it, is not going to immediately get shut down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I know the problem with Twitch. I can't resolve it midstream, but I will resolve it for the next one. But Ryan wanted to be efficient unless he was shopping. Exactly. Having Ryan walk away while you're having your vulnerable roleplay moment kind of crushes you. Yeah, kinda. Even if he's not doing anything to explicitly end it, he was implying it a lot. Yeah. One day I'll be in a position to just travel around the world a bunch. I would love to be in that position. Traveling around the world is expensive. The only reason we went to Spain last year was because of the dummy cheap flight tickets, and then we just, we're generally cheap livers. But yeah, it's tough. Also another interesting band might be Cellar Darling. They have a hurdy-gurdy. Okay, I have very positive associations with hurdy-gurdies only because they are in a Brian David Gilbert skit. But you did hook me with a hurdy-gurdy because I do have a positive association with it. It's like Tibbs is right here. Have you been practicing? I have not. For some reason, that's just the impression that I can do. I used to call that my tottering old professor/librarian voice. Well, we are going to be getting the axes just right. And hey, what are you doing there, boy? Get over here. Help align the telescope to the array. We need to get Venus right in there. That is my like they found a wizard in a tower in the forest, all alone for years, and he talks to a skeleton in the corner type of voice. It just so happens to line up with Tiberius. Is Megan talking about wearing a beret, then Sam putting one on less than a minute later, N5? I was talking about it because Sam was talking about it. It is not N5. Patty Gurdy is a hurdy-gurdy player on YouTube. She's pretty good. Oh, that's cool. What just happened? Okay. This is one of the first times I've elevated in this new area. Alright. Dude, it's so weird. Like, our house looks so strange from this camera angle because we have this is like a diagonal wall, but the camera's lined up with the diagonal wall, so I keep looking back because, like, this box, like, looks really strange in the camera angle for some reason. It doesn't normally look this weird. But anyways, we got a star voice actor here. No, you've heard about 90% of my voices on stream. I do not have a wide range. I like to practice. I have fun doing voices. Oh my goodness. There was just an attack. Bug has been attacked. But anyways.
It's gonna be a good growing season this spring. Good crop's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good harvest moon.
Ask how it's feeling. Can you ask how
How's it feeling? Can I ask the tree how it's feeling? Can I be like, hey tree, how are you doing today?
That is very cute.
You doing alright? How do you feel between all this?
You sense...
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo.
You sense weariness, like something very old has been asleep for a very long time, has woken up.
Does it feel positive?
Positive.
Okay.
The sun tree seemingly kept at bay, locked away. What bit of its life force it managed to maintain had been contained for so long, and is now finally free.
And I just say, good morning, old friend.
You sense the tree saying, the sun just set. It's not morning.
I go, oh shit. And then I turn to person and I say, the tree talk to me.
In that ancient ways that trees talk.
You just had a smoke monster you were talking to. Is that hard to believe?
I watched her walk up to the tree.
Oh no.
I follow
Here we
it up.
go.
Here we go. I follow up and I don't say anything. I see one hand on the tree, and without saying anything,
I walk up behind Bax and I pence him.
Yes!
And I grab the back of his collar and pull backwards.
That's the revenge.
you gonna roll anything?
Okay, so
I'm not sure what he did though. Like,
I grabbed your pants and I pulled them down to your
But
ankles.
what's the part about the collar?
I grabbed the back of your neck and pulled you backwards with your pants around your ankles.
Okay.
So-
he's got to roll, but if it happens, it happens.
right.
Yes, he does.
I'm
I had
going
to roll
to
for
consider
everything
this a
I
grapple
did to him.
check, so it's your athletics versus your acrobatics.
What about
Come on, don't fail
pantsing?
me now.
Is that included?
That is the pantsing.
20 plus my athletics.
Wait, natural 20?
Natural
No,
20?
19
Nope.
plus
No.
26. My athletics is plus 7.
I rolled a 32.
As you reach out and about to grasp the sides, he just leaps straight up in the air and then lands a foot in front of you. You grab nothing and see him kind of glance over his shoulder. And
I knew that was going to happen.
It's alright. It could have been now. It'll just be worse later.
Nice try,
You
Grog.
already took my left nut off my body.
Oh, please. That was what appetizers for the main course, my friend.
All right, so that's
Nice
challenge.
try.
Challenge.
God.
So I still don't say anything besides as I jump to the side really fast to not lose my breeches. And she's got one hand on the tree, and I just quietly, with her free hand and my free hand, try to lace my fingers with hers.
against the tree.
Oh my gosh, you guys are
Just free hand,
boyfriend and
free hand.
girlfriend now.
As you finish your awkward, it's not morning conversation with the Essence of the Sun tree,
It's morning somewhere.
I don't know that I would say that, Soya. I don't know if it's that deep. She had, you know, kind of the moment and, like, an escalation of the moment of, like, you know, Vax coming up and trying to join. If they've talked off camera, which I think they have about this relationship potentially progressing, that feels like a very normal escalation, but it also feels, very Grog to try and fuck with it. So yeah, I don't know. I think that was all fine. 32 Vax is impossible to pants. This underrated anti-pantsing build for all those little pantsing gremlins that are running around your D&D world.
you feel a strange alien.
Toxic masculinity vibes from Vax and Grog, but a weirdly endearing way. Yeah, it's like, I mean, we've already talked about the whole, like, Vax and Keyleth, like, kiss and, like, you know, the way that happened and escalated. And, like, Grog is, it's very hard to, like, quantify it in those terms because he is playing a character that is, like, from a fucking, like, tribe. And, like, this isn't me trying to, like, make excuses for any sort of toxic behavior. But it is, I feel that anytime I feel a toxic part of it, it feels like one of Scanlan's jokes. Where, like, I don't, like, love any of the toxic parts, but it feels very clearly like a joke where the players are just fucking with each other. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it isn't a surprise or spoilers that after the kiss on stream, they all talked off stream about those lines and veils. I'm sure. I mean, I would hope. And it was my assumption because if that isn't the case, I don't think that would have been very good. But yeah, I don't know. The Vax Grog stuff is odd. Because Grog is kind of an odd character where he's very endearing, but also has, like, these very distinct, like, probably not great things. Like, his absolute thirst to kill things is, like, not a great trait. But it is wrapped up in the veneer of, you know, a very endearing, lovable goof. And that is sort of one of the inherent dissonances of a lot of D&D characters, where, like, they are violent, traveling mercenaries that you would absolutely probably not want to associate with IRL. But because of the context of D&D and the world and, like, the dangers out there, you sweep a little bit of that under the rug.
Your left free hand for a moment.
What the fuck, bug? Hey! Gullet! Don't you give that to me. Grog is ultimately a low-intelligence serial killer, not typically someone you would have in your social network. Yeah. So that's like the most toxic things I associate with Grog are an absolute lack of empathy in almost every situation. Grog has loyalty, but like empathy is not really a feeling that Grog experiences. And I think that that's probably where like the toxic masculine vibes come from, is that severe lack of empathy. Grog can be I don't mean the relationship, just that that Keyleth is doing a conversation with a tree or last half with the danger thing, and Vax is just glued to her heels, which feels weird. I don't know. I don't know that it doesn't feel that weird to me, especially since, like, the conversation with the tree was mostly a joke. Like, she had kind of finished the serious part, and now she was in, like, oh, I get a third question? Like, I don't know. It's like when you're at the end of Speak with Dead, but you've already gotten the information. So I feel like that is kind of an appropriate place to maybe deviate or elevate the conversation in some way. But that could be different strokes for different folks. It didn't really come off to me that way. Grog can be Grog in Vox Machina. He can't be Grog at your grocery store. Yeah. And I mean, like a low-level psychopath isn't like the worst thing to have as someone watching your back in a world of like vampires and extraplanar smoke monsters. It's not the worst thing to have someone that needlessly violent on your side. But it's not someone that we would associate with in our modern lives. A vast majority of D&D characters are capable of and will commit murder. Oh yeah, like straight up murder. Not even like, oh, self-defense or like greater good. It is just like, yeah, they will just directly murder someone. Even when there are other ways, mostly for convenience's sake, I've found. And that is partially on just the fact that it's like fantasy and it's role-playing and like the consequences sort of matter, but they don't like directly affect us in our outside lives, so like we're more willing to like throw consequences to the wind. But also D&D as a system encourages violent behavior. Like the fact that it is so combat focused and most of the classes get mostly combat oriented features leads the characters naturally into more violent actions. That's like a D&D specific thing, I would say. Grog is that ride or die guy who would say, should we kill him after you complain about your boss? Kinda. Should we kill the John Mulaney bit? You want me to kill that guy? Because he sounds like he sucks. I will totally kill that guy for you. Grog is that one guy who would survive the zombie apocalypse? Oh, yeah. I mean, all of these characters would probably survive the zombie apocalypse. And most regular humans would not. I do love Grog, though. He has a good mind for battle, and he does care about his friends. He's just also a little blood hungry. Oh, yeah. And, like, that's sort of the, like, level of, like, that's, like, the level of suspension of disbelief. Is, like, we have to just sort of accept, like, this is a different world. And the morality of this world is just distinctly different than modern morality in a lot of ways. Sort of like what we were talking about with like the ultra powerful people. Like individual people cannot become as powerful as that. Like even if you consider like social capital or like money, if you lock a Uber celebrity, a billionaire, and a, like me, all in a room, stripped naked, we have nothing, we can't, like, call out to anyone. Like, the only thing that we have is, like, do we work out? And are we, like, generally physically fit? But it's honestly not that different. We're in, like, a pretty similar spot. That is not the case with the superhumans that exist within Exandria and most D&D worlds. Like, it is a very different thing of plopping Grog and a commoner in a room than it would be like plopping me and a commoner in a room, you know? But oh no, the multi-stream chat stopped. I can still get both of them on here though. My character was only murdered once. She felt really bad about it for almost 20 minutes though, so all good, right? I mean, 20 minutes is probably more care than a lot of characters give it. I mean, there are spells that just identify evil, like full-on actual evil that exists. Yeah, exactly. Which is a whole other thing of like the positive and negative planes and the like. This is a world where like gods and demons and devils and fiends like explicitly exist, and yeah, the whole moral scheming is like even if you are like a religious person IRL, you can very much understand that like gods are more explicitly proven in most D&D tables and games than they are in real life. But yeah, exactly. Typical mega fantasy. Yeah. Typical me. Now, whether that identification is relative to the user's morality, yeah. But like a lot of times it's not. And yet detect good and evil fails to detect either. Well, yeah, true. I played a lawful good cleric, and it was difficult to figure out what was murder for hire and what was the protection of people. Well, yeah, because like, again, the whole like moral scheming is just very, very different in D&D. Like what being a good person means, what being lawful means. That's why I hate the alignment system in general. Like lawful, evil, good, chaotic. Like I really don't like the alignment chart. But even within that context, it's very hard to know. Even if you think about what your character would do, it's hard to tell. Like that's why I think that a good exercise before you even start playing is to watch something like an actual play and think about your character and like what would my character do in that situation. If two people are brought up and you know they're fucking collaborators, is my character the type that would execute them? Eudokia without a second thought. Like, it would not even be we have a conversation. She would stick a mental spike in their brain and be done with it. But my other character, Tormera, would likely try to get information out of them, see if, maybe we can, like, spin this a little bit for the good of the people, good of the party. You know, they're probably more valuable alive than dead. Like, thinking through that sort of stuff as, like, what would my character do in that situation can be a super helpful exercise for trying to suss out their morality. Mega is a lawful, chaotic, evil, good. I am all. I am neutral. I am true neutral, but not neutral, but neutral. Do you have your own alignment chart? And if so, would you care to share it? I think I've shared it in the past, but I will definitely share it again. I do not have my own like explicit alignment chart, but I will show you what I use. Headed out. Catch you next time. See you later, Gremlin. Good to see you. I use the Magic the Gathering color pie. And like the reason that I use the color pie is actually like very simple and straightforward. Like, it's not even like that I think it's... I don't want to say that, like, it's not because I think it's better or whatever. Like, here, let me show you exactly why I use it. So I use the color pie because let's take the alignment chart, right? Let's take the alignment. Oh, no. I pushed... Oh, no. Somehow I fucked up my drawing tablet. Okay, so let's take the alignment chart of this, right? This requires you to know 6 different pieces of information in order to get 9 pieces of information out of it, right? So at the end, you have 9. So that is learning 6 things to get 9 things. The color pie is the wrong screen. Is this. So it's from Magic the Gathering. It is the different colors have different attributes related to them. This is I think the easiest representation of the color pie is this chart. It is not at all comprehensive. The color pie has its own like deep lore within Magic the Gathering, but generally it's white, blue, black, red, green, and then you describe things through combinations of colors. So you describe something as like pure green, or maybe green blue, or white blue, or white black. And like the combinations or how far you are on any given side has a lot to do with the description of that character. So, for example, Eudokia is red, black, white. And when you start getting into more colors, they start to be more described by like the colors that they lack. But like her main color is red. And that is like means a very particular thing that is not like good, evil, whatever. It is like freedom. It is individual. It is choice. That's very, very Eudokia. And the thing that I like about the color pie, so not even like the specifics of any of the colors, the thing that I really, really prefer about the color pie is that you have to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of information. And assuming that we only consider 2 color combinations, which I've already said you can go into more combinations, that is 5 factorial numbers of combinations, which I am not remembering how many that is. 5 factorial. Loop. Oh, come on. 5 factorial. 5 factorial is 120. So you have 120 different combinations that you get out of this. So you have to learn 5 things to get 120. So that's why I like something like the color pie more. Now, admittedly, these 5 pieces of information are much, much harder to learn than this 6 piece of information. The alignment chart makes sense even if you've never played D&D. So that is a legitimate strength of it, is that these 6 and these 5 are not built equally. But I would still claim that a solid knowledge of this will much more benefit your games than something like the alignment chart. And that is just assuming that we are just talking about describing it through pure colors. That's not even if we go into like light or dark versions of colors, which you very much can if you're getting to see all the back end stuff. Like you can see like the kind of gray area between freedom and between red and blue, freedom and perfection, like emotion, reason, creativity. Like you can be kind of shades of gray on this chart, which you can on the alignment chart as well. So like that's not like a huge difference, but I really, really like this because if you commit to learning at least the basics of the color pie, you can get a much more accurate description of a character with much less issue than with the traditional D&D alignment chart. I also think that separate from all of that, the alignment chart itself carries certain historical contexts with like the term evil and the term lawful that are just like inherently confusing. Like what lawful is pretty ill-defined, which is a weakness of easy to understand things. Like sometimes easy to understand can also mean easy to misunderstand. Or easy to misinterpret, or just interpret differently. So I prefer the color pie over all that. Unaligned BB. Yeah, the simplest question is if you'd kill just any random guy. Most of my characters probably wouldn't without good reason. Yeah, and the more you dig into that, so like, okay, it's not just a random guy. It is a villain who is now professing to be good. It is someone who is surrendering to you. Clearly, Vox Machina doesn't give a shit about that. It's someone who's old. Big consideration. But yeah, that's true, Fanlair. Like, that is one of the most basic ways to think about it, is would they kill a random person? And then as you add more and more qualifiers onto just how random and just how person, you start to get into the nitty-gritty of your character's morality. Black is best color, changed my mind. I got no mind changing to do for you. My warlock would be dark green, red, light green. So that just sounds like their primary color would be green, secondary red. So like green, red is what that sounds like. Would it be fair to say the alignment chart is better for beginner players just based on its simplicity? There's certainly an argument there. Like, no question, it could be better for new players. Because it is much simpler to understand. But I think it depends on how much that player is wanting to play D&D for the characters. Like, if they're just, like, interested in, like, puzzle solving or exploration or combat, probably stick with something like the alignment chart that is simpler for them to understand. But if they're really into, like, roleplay and moral quandaries and political intrigue, then you might consider looking at a more complicated alignment system, because I think that they'll gravitate towards that more, even if they're new. For my next character, I want to play it super good, but in the background, set it up with my GM that they are a serial killer to see how long it takes for my group to figure it out. You're actively serial killing throughout the game? I mean, look. If that's how, you know, your table and your GM want to play it, like, that's fine. I've made it very clear. I don't love, like, that type of, like, hidden information that might be like, whoa, I never would have traveled with you if I had known. Like, I don't love that type of hidden information, but it's also, that's a big, like, different strokes for different folks thing. If your table's into that sort of thing, it can go well. How are things so far? What a permafrost. They're good. They're chilling. Oh my god, we are burning through the episode. I figured we were going to be at like 40 minutes. That's fucking crazy. I mean, obviously it was shorter, but still. Sick. Yeah, no, we're killing it. So yeah, it's going well. Keela just talked to the Sun Tree. She did indeed. The Bundy build. Who was that serial killer that was from Kansas? BTK? BTK. My mom knew someone who was in BTK's youth group. Or is that your story, Paige? That's your story? Paige has a BTK story, and my mom have a BTK story. Because my mom is from Wichita, which is where BTK was from. And I always forget them, which one is which. I mean, Vox did let Vedemeyer live since he gave in. The half-orc lady made it very clear she would be a problem if allowed to live. They couldn't simply let her go or imprison her safely. Oh, Fadler, I was more making a joke about the the whole situation that happened outside of their stronghold when they like don't care about surrender. But they are growing. Yeah, I think this situation was relatively on the straightforward side, at least in terms of like D&D moral situations. But yeah, I don't disagree with anything that they did. If they're killing the party, probably fairly quick. Yeah, true. I personally think there are some goods and bads to the alignment tree. The bad can be when someone oversimplifies it to your character must act this way, and that your character automatically hates another person from sight or such. There's also the use of it to get a slightly basic idea of someone's personality shift, so that is one good use of it instead of the first point. I mean, true. I mean, I think that in general, the reason that I don't love the alignment chart, the alignment tree, what have you, is because it is difficult to... I think it abstracts your your character's morality too much. For my taste. I don't think it gives really an accurate impression of almost any character, but it is good for like a very, very basic idea. I think you're totally right. And again, if you have players like Travis, right? If you're starting up a table and your players are like Travis, I would recommend the alignment chart. Seriously, because I think that Travis's Number one, Travis's alignment is going to be relatively easy to model because Grog, while he has deep moments, is maybe not as complex of a character as something like Percival. And yeah, any big shifts within Grog's character will be easy to model. And for someone who doesn't, I don't want to say doesn't care about the roleplay, but is not as into like super deep roleplay like Travis, I think that having something simpler and easy to understand is better for them. But if you are at a table full of Taliesin Jaffies, I think that something like the color pie is going to interest them a lot more, even when it comes to abstraction or personality shift. Like, that color pie is going to be more entertaining and interesting to, I think, a player like Taliesin. It'd be random NPCs, probably between games. My group would love it, but my character would not survive when they find out. Hey, man, if you're down with that, I suppose, yeah. The alignment chart and previous restrictions that paladins must be lawful good caused a lot of problems in the early days. Yeah, I've heard. There are also some players that will do some sort of foresight magic to see someone's alignment and then point the finger and say this person is evil, which can make it hell to make the party collab together. Yeah. They're like, I think it is, there are spells that have to do explicitly with alignment. They what do you call it? They toned it down a lot. As Topaz just pointed out, it used to be much more oppressive in earlier editions. But yeah, I think that there are a lot of ways that the alignment chart can be misused and misconstrued. I think one of the things that I like about the color pie is even black is not like a lot of more evil entities do happen to be black, but also a lot of them are not, and a lot of good entities are black. Like, black is not like the explicit color of evil. It just has like some ties to there. Which is one of the things I really like about the color pie. There are plenty of stories where someone acts that way, so it can be prone to be used that way in an abusive manner. Sure, yeah. My character's color is normally a white with some blue fur wearing a black trench coat. Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm specifically talking about, I don't know if you're making a joke about the color pie, but I when I'm talking about like player colors, I'm talking about the color pie, which is the Magic the Gathering color pie. Yes, the moral complexity of Grog compared to Percy is exponentially different, and that isn't inherently a bad thing for either character. Sometimes less is more for both player and GM. Yeah, like I've talked about, like, characters, to me, are not as big of a thing when I'm GMing, like non-player characters, as they are to Matt. Like, Matt's table is much, much more NPC heavy, and roleplay between NPC and player heavy than my tables are. So, if you're like, taking that comparison, like, yeah, I'm a little bit more of an alignment chart person on that axis. But when I play a character, because I'm such a DM, I have to play an incredibly like mentally complex character. I don't really play Grogs. But yeah, no, it can be good for either side. No more pie talk. I want to see you react to the celebratory Whitestone orgy scene. That's true. We can always do Q&A at the end. We'll go to the orgy scene. You're so right. Just to be clear, I wouldn't suggest or condone this at any table, but I think it'd be a cool way to work with the DM to create a mystery arc for my friends. Yeah, and that's what I kind of said, is it's like, that seems like a risky thing, but you seem really confident about it, and if that like works at your table, then it works at your table. BTW, it's incredibly amusing. This discussion about alignment stemmed from Grog trying to pants Vax. Yeah, a bit. I'm a furry and a kitsune. My character, I normally keep very much powered down because I know a ton of people are scared of homebrew characters due to how some people give it a bad sign. I mean, I whenever I am homebrewing for my players, I always say, like, if you want something specific, it's probably I want it to be less powerful. Like, if you play raw, then, you get the standard raw power. But if you want something more particular, I want to help you get there, but I'm going to hedge on the side of lower power, which is why I've talked about it. I think that Gunslinger is pretty underpowered comparatively, but since Taliesin wants something specific, I don't think that's a terribly bad thing that it's a little bit underpowered.
I jump and I yank away instinctually.
Taliesin, the Eldritch being, is just overpowered as a player. He just rolls too many 20s. It's not Gunslinger. It's the pilot, not the plane in this situation.
Okay, actually, she pulls away from it and kind of looks at her shoulder with surprise and sudden horror.
Duh.
He's just shrugging.
I was just talking to the tree. It talked back. Everyone is hiding everyone's hiding.
No privacy.
You get privacy. It's your moment.
So, Max just stands there, not saying anything, just looking at you.
He said it.
Don't look at me, look at him.
Sorry.
I don't love that from Matt in that moment. Like, yeah, this is a bit weird and a bit awkward, and like Marisha's dragging it out a little bit, but she's dragging it out because it's weird and awkward. And I think that is, if I had to guess, Critical Role producer Matt, and not necessarily Critical Role DM Matt.
I don't know. Shit. I'm really confused.
Vax says, all right, and walks off.
Vax walks away, dude.
I'd be lying if I said often night when I go to sleep, your face is the last thing that crosses my mind.
Oh my god.
But with the weight of the world and the weight of the contact embarrassment from our fellow party currently, it's hard to focus on. You said that when you were near death. We say a lot of things when we're near death. How do I know that's what you were truly feeling?
I didn't say it out loud. I just thought it. You mean?
You told her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you said that out loud. Yeah, no, that was in your head. Uh-huh.
I wore a mask for a long time where I grew up. And I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, wait.
Wait. Wait.
Yeah, that's very fair, Cabium, of like, sometimes you just need this, you need an awkward moment to get people even used to the idea or the concept. Just straight up. Like, when there's a lot of things like that, like when you're trying homebrew rulings or when you're trying, a lot of different things. You need there will be just like a session of awkwardness, and I find that even at like the beginning of the campaigns, and like that's again I've talked about it before. I really like starting at level 1, and this is another reason is first time exploring any new avenue in a TTRPG is going to have a layer of awkwardness. And I really prefer having as many of those like hurdles and awkwardness when there is less distracting the players. The stakes are lower. The power that they possess is lower. Not to say that they should have done this romance stuff, earlier in their power spikes or in their power curves. But I think this is an example of like anytime you approach a new kind of topic or subject in a TTRPG, yeah, it's just gonna have a little layer of awkwardness that Gotta break through. If there's anyone who can help clear that kind of hurdle, it's Liam. Well, with his acrobatics rolls, yeah, you bet. The comparison of Matt and Taliesin in this frame. Yeah, I'll bet.
Okay. I don't know what else to say right now. I'm really tired. Really tired. I think there's also a part of me that... just afraid.
I feel like I'm going to get pounced by a Goliath at any moment. Don't do anything. Don't change anything. I haven't lied. I've told the truth. If you'll have me, I'm yours. If you don't want me, I understand. And that's all there is to say. And then I actually walk off.
I stay by the tree.
Okay. As this is happening, and he walks off, you guys are there at the table, kind of just now noticing the both of them missing. You see Keyleth kind of stunned, standing by the sun tree. As Keeper Yennin approaches you once again, he goes, "My friends, we have a lot of work to do, and it would not be fair for me to assume, as you've already done so much for us. But it has been a while since we've had much to celebrate in this town, and this evening seems a fine improvisational event. But we have 2 weeks until the Winter's Crest Festival would be happening here in Whitestone, something we have not celebrated in near 5 years. I would just ask, should you be interested, if you would wish to stay with us these next couple of weeks to help us rebuild and perhaps aid in preparing the first real shining moment in Whitestone's history since you...
And you know what? The thing about this is, it's so funny, like Yennin asking them to stay. I think there's a really good and really easy moment to narrate a montage of them just like chilling out, like drinking, playing a bunch of games, like have like a big celebratory montage, and then you give that exact speech that Yennin gave, where he like goes through all of them. You give that speech at the end of a montage where the party has been hanging out with the people of Whitestone for like a week, and that speech feels way better. Like, instead of Yennin holding up like a mace in front of the sun tree, it's him holding up a fucking tankard in the middle of a feast while Grog is shit-faced on the floor and Scanlan is dancing on a table. Like, I think that suddenly, like, snaps it into, like, oh yeah, they've been getting to know us over the past 5 days. We've all been recounting the events that led us here. And, like, now they understand what type of people we are. And they give that speech either at the end of this montage during a big celebration and then we all go, ha! Or on their way out of town after the 5 days, 7 days of celebrating. They give this, that's like a goodbye speech rather than, you know, whatever the fuck it was. Like, there being people at the table watching me is weird enough for me, never mind if it was streamed to the internet. Oh yeah, I agree. That's why I cannot, like, I've talked about, I don't have much interest in like an actual play sort of thing, but I do want to DM stuff and like put it on the internet, and it will probably be Romance Light, because that shit is weird and awkward for me. It is not weird and awkward as like a general concept. If that is fun for you, I get it. Like, it's just not, my brain is just not like that. But that is very, very cool, if you're into it. But yeah, if you ever see me DMing, if you're ever at a table with me, probably gonna be Romance Light. And like having thousands of strangers read your text with your SO. Me and Paige don't text. Bow. Then let's go calling for the win, and like the occasional Discord message.
We're gone.
I would be very grateful.
But the contents of our Discord messages are like pick up spinach at the store, or like make sure you get the bell peppers, or like don't forget to pick up ibuprofen. Like that's about the context of our texts.
We're here.
We shall.
Cassandra nods as well.
Keeper, may I ask for a small request? Could you maybe send a wonderfully worded letter to Uriel and let him know?
What? Oh wait. Can I do ASMR? I've never even tried to do ASMR, but I like the whisper. Can you get the bell peppers? I don't know if the mic is turned up loud enough for the whispers. Yeah, me and Paige's text gets steamy. What can I say? So you're cool with PC romance, but not into NPC relationships besides I like you, Sam, I care for you a lot. It's not even that I'm not cool with it. It just hasn't happened. Like, it's not really something that like the players that I play with are into. It's not something I'm into, and so it just hasn't happened. Like, I would not be opposed to it happening, but it's just not been a part of my tables for any kind of reason. My GM made an in-character channel in Discord to do romance or other things that would be strange during a session and didn't need an audience. Yeah, that works. That's totally fair. Yeah. My IRL partner often is the instigator of my flirting with others. Like, that would be the least of my personal problems in this situation. It didn't even occur to me. Unsub, uncomfy. Oh no, we got to the part where I did ASMR. I personally have my own horror story for D&D that involved my very first time being in a D&D group. It also involved me dying in session 0. Jeez, what? You shouldn't even be, like, rolling in session 0. I guess, like, rolling health. That's wild. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know that I'll do like a whole like, story read through in chat, but I will say if you join the Discord, we used to have an explicit channel called Story Time. But if you wanted to tell the story in the Discord, I am sure that there would be lots of people willing to listen. Your ASMR is giving salad fingers? I would love to... dude, I would love to make salad fingers. That'd be so sick. Oh my god. I would love that. Secondary ASMR channel when? Dude, I've been thinking about this. I'll say it out loud because I love to leak. And I don't know that this will ever happen. I would absolutely love to DM a session with all of the players being ASM artists, where it's like, I DM'd for 4 ASM artists and the entire session is all in ASMR. And like, I really focus on like the sounds that they're hearing and the smells. And maybe it's even in like the whole conceit of the world is that a curse of silence has fallen over it. Or like, it's like, maybe it's a, what the fuck's that movie? The one where, if you like do anything too loud, the monsters fucking come and get you. Maybe it's like that. I would love to DM that sort of shit. That would be so much fun. As an ASM artist, not bad. Let's go. Dude, I never even thought about that. A story whispered? I just thought about a story whispered. I literally read your name always in my head as Astery whispered. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck Astery is, but sure, yeah. That's crazy. That's wild. Well, thank you. What are salad fingers? Horror series. Pretty good. I'm not like that into horror. But I think salad fingers is pretty good. Can always RP it as the players are the only good looking people in the entire world. Sure. I was killed by a level 6 wereboar in session 0? I don't even know what you mean. That's crazy. Stay innocent? Nah, never stay innocent. Always look for more. Always dive into the eldritch knowledge. They don't want you to have it. You need to look into it. You need to read the eldritch texts, dive into the knowledge, the forbidden libraries of salad fingers. You deserve it. It's the best. My DM wrote me an in-character physical letter from her love interest. It's a fun part of the game that drives her motivation. That's sick. That's super cool. I don't have the, like, not to, like, comment too much, but, like, that sort of thing is not a huge part of my brain. So it's just not like a natural tendency for me to like go into. I love to leak. I do love to leak. I love leaking future plans. Hell yeah. Immense stealth gameplay. Fuck yeah, dude. I think you'd be so sick. That's the sort of thing where it's like, I don't have any interest in doing an actual play, but I would love to do like little like gimmicky one-off sessions of like, yeah, like I DM'd for ASM artists or like I DM'd for plumbers. I don't know. Like, like kind of like Anthony Padilla's like I spent a day with, like I DM'd for blank and this is how it went. Like I'd love to do that sort of shit. Cast dissonant whispers. There was a group of ASM artists that ran a game. There's some that would be very open to it. Oh yeah, it's like I don't know if it will ever happen, but it is something that's on my I have a lot of ideas that, some I have talked about, some I definitely can't talk about because I do want to execute on them, and like they are ideas that someone with a bigger audience could easily copy, and I would be very distraught if they did. But I have a lot of stuff that I want to do when I go full time that is in that vein of like, yeah, like I DM'd for a blank, and this is how it went. A quiet place per functionist. Thank you. Sandra Bullock movie with the blindfolds. That's not the one I was thinking of. I haven't seen that one. That's like Bird Box, Birdcage or something. No, the Birdcage is with Robin Williams. That's a totally different movie. To this day, I still question how the fuck a DM can actually excuse using the dice roll as a monster encounter determination to justify the encounter I had with a damn. Woof! I would need a lot of context, but I mean, this is like the classic like D&D am I the asshole of like, yeah, from like the way you're telling it, that sounds like fucking terrible. And it doesn't sound like there's much for me to say other than like, damn, yeah, that's fucking really bad and really sucks. And I'm very sorry. Now I'm scared to look it up. No. Give in to your eldritch instincts. How do you think that Taliesin achieved everlasting life? How do you think he got all those 20s? It wasn't by being scared to look it up. You get in there. Get in the comments. True YouTuber brain. The machinations are always going. I can't wait to see the I DM'd for plumbers. I think that'll go hard. There's a Twitch channel with a D&D group of ASM artists and cosplayers that play and RP very good stories. So it's not even that unique, you're saying. So I need to find a better hook. That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't like really researched or like just really started going down these idea paths, but they're there. They're there.
How we saved the day and how much you love us?
He looks very confused. I imagine that could be I assume that could be done, yes.
That would be wonderful. Make sure you mention how terrible the Briarwoods were and how Vox Machina saved the day.
Mm-hmm.
Truly saved it.
We can write it for you if you just want to sign it.
Underline save.
That guy's gonna wake up this morning and go, "Oh, I'm an asshole." Oh.
Please, yes, that would be wonderful.
That's true.
All right, here we done.
Thank you.
Baseball.
Oh, what was I thinking? Oh.
And so as the rest of you join in the merriment, or whatever else you wish to do for the evening, thinking about post.
I will say, in terms of like stuff I really want to do, what Permafrost just said of like, to this day I've never found another group to play with, that is one of the things that like medium term, like as a creator, that is one of the big things that I want to combat. And I have a lot of ideas for like how to give people that want to play more of an opportunity to do it. And the Unseen campaign is a step in that direction, but it is just my first step. It is just like basically the beta testing for some ideas. I really, really want to give people a chance to like play with groups and such. Looking forward to IDM for MDs just for the symmetry. IDM for bro, it took me a second on that one. I DM'd for the MDs. That is pretty good. I would have to make the entire title a palindrome somehow. If I'm going that on it. Like, I gotta make the entire thing a palindrome. Oh, I had to look it up. You're right. A Quiet Place with the Deaf charter, I think. The Sandra Bullock is Bird Box. Yeah. Strawberry Rice Krispies and cursing Will Wheaton in recent times. Discord has a Critical Role spoiler. It does indeed. I DM'd for prison convicts. Dude, I mean, okay. This is like a total tangent, but I would love to fucking DM in prison. That'd be dope. Like, I unironically would really like... I didn't get, like, a really good chance to do a lot of, like... We did a lot of service when I was in school, so I went to a religious school. And so we did, like, serve days. We had a lot of, like, required community service. And I don't have a good understanding of, like, what the inside of a modern prison looks like. Like, I have, in a way that I have a good understanding of, I think, a lot of things in that, you know, general area. But I would love to go and, like, do service for people at a prison and, like, bring joy and, like, entertainment to people. That'd be really fun, I think. Now, I DM'd for Orion Akaba would be fucking insane. Let's not get crazy here, Perfunctionist. I'm already terrified by the thought that there is a non-zero chance that Orion sees my shit. And, like, sees all the clickbait that I used him for. That already is an existential threat sitting in the back of my brain just waiting to go off. So I would be on, but I will say I have enough of a content brain to where, like, if Orion was down, I would do it. I would just be terrified the whole time. I would be so fucking nervous. That might be the most nerve-wracking thing I would ever do. I would feel so much more at ease DMing for a table that's like Brennan Lee Mulligan, Abria Iyengar, Matt Mercer. I could DM for, I think that would be crazy. I think I would feel more nervous about Orion purely because of how much I've ripped the dude. Like, I don't like talking bad about people, and I talked bad about him a lot. And I would have to look him in the eyes knowing that. And that would make me very uncomfy. What about GMing for a company's GMs? Oh yeah, we're getting down the rabbit hole now. Hell yeah. I had a DM once who learned D&D in prison. Fuck yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, that's what I'm saying is, like, you know, a lot of people. There are a lot of things that you can do that sort of shit for. I'd love to do that. That's like. It's like unironically, like maybe just like an idea that I might do. I don't know. But I would also, there is like a layer there of like, I DM'd for prisoners is potentially like utilizing people for content that are in a bad situation. It's like going out to like, and like giving people like $100 who are homeless, you know, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure that the homeless person really liked the $100, but also you're utilizing them for content and clicks. Yeah, it's exploitative-ish, and I'm sure that the people in prison would really like it, but it rides that line of exploitation to where, like, it sounds like a good idea, but I would have to be really careful, and I would have to think about it a lot more. And same thing with ASM artists. Like, you know, they're the absolute most oppressed group. I will have to, you know, I could very much be exploitating them. I'm joking. But moving to iPad and then bed. Godspeed, Mustang. I'm just here for the chaos. Your channel will blow up. Oh, I know. If I DM'd for Orion Akaba, my channel would absolutely blow up. But I would be a wreck. Yeah, those three probably wouldn't be unfriendly to you and most likely encourage you. Yeah, I'm sure that they would be amazing players. That's the thing. One of the things that pissed me off was when people told me, go to your neighborhood and find a group, which assumes that everyone lives in a city or suburban area. I live in a rural area with no one who plays D&D or never heard of it. Oh yeah, Permafrost. Like when I was... I've said before, you know, I went to college out in Manhattan, Kansas at K-State. Teeny tiny, small town surrounded by teeny tiny towns. And so the people that I played D&D with in college, most of them had either had heard about it online, but yeah, hadn't had enough people to play with. I had to convince my friends in high school. I did live in a suburban area, and I still did not know 4 other people that knew how to play D&D. My first group that I DM'd for, I learned how to DM, and they all learned how to play at the same time. It was a wreck, but it was really fun. But yeah, like 100%. There's not always like people that like D&D groups are not always available like that. Yeah, filming that for content, putting it on the internet is weird. Like, do it in private. Yeah, that is something I would be very interested to do. Is like just like go in and do that if like people would be interested, and maybe like document like a vlog about my experience. But filming those people or like putting the actual thing on the internet, yeah. But even if I filmed a vlog about it, it'd be like, like I was only doing it for the vlog, which is how a lot of vlogs are. So I don't know. That's maybe something that I would have to think about a lot more. But I had to go online to find a game. Been in a group now for 2 years with people from all over the world. That's sick, Mustang. That's very, very sick. That's how it was for me in college. Most of the people I played with were new. Yeah. I've only played with an experienced D&D player. I'm trying to think if I've ever played with a D&D player that has played more than me. I played with one person once who had played a decent amount of 3.5. But they never played 5 when I played with them. I think I've always been the most experienced person at the table, or I've been of equal experience. Like with my starting group, we were all of equal experience. I don't think I've ever played at a table where the people were more experienced than me. It took a long time to find the right group for me, even with a lot of options. Great groups fell apart. Terrible groups I had to leave because of unfortunate situations. Yeah. You've stretched out this 45 minutes of content like no one else. Yeah, dude, I was looking at the time code and I was like, oh my god, I might not need bonus content. We might not even need to watch some of the shit that you sent over. It's, dude, I know. I just like streaming, man. I just like talking to chat. That's why I've thought about like the spoiler thing, and it's like, I have thought about going on to potentially sub-only mode for chat, but even that I feel iffy about. And I would definitely never go on to, like, members only. Like, I think, like, I just get so much joy and, like, energy out of talking to chat. And, like, when I have something to spitball off of, whew, I can just go. Oh man, one of my groups right now came out of D&D. Came out of going to D&D in a castle, and that's just a bizarre circumstance. What? That's crazy. Wait, one of my groups right now came out of going to D&D in a castle. D&D castle was like an event, I'm assuming. Okay, that makes sense. My group's only lasted like 6 months, and then daylight savings messed us, and it's destroyed the availability. No, that sucks. I know that is not an uncommon experience though. One of my players is in a state that doesn't do daylight savings, and so that has messed with our availabilities. In all seriousness, I wish more people were empathetic to prisoners trying to rehabilitate. Most of them aren't monsters. Yeah, 100%. Like the vast majority, especially in the U.S. It sucks because I often just want to play as a cryomancer since I wanted to shift it from being a warlock to a sorcerer for more freedom. I mean, cryomancer, since I wanted to shift it from being a warlock to a sorcerer for more freedom. I mean, yeah, you can just like choose a bunch of cold spells. Like I don't know if you mean like you want a like custom class to like pursue being a cryomancer. But like, yeah, you can just like play a sorcerer. You could also play Wizard Order of Scribes, because the Wizard Order of Scribes allows you to change damage types of spells. So you could take existing spells that are not cold based, and you can change their damage type to be cold based. So if you wanted to pursue a cryomancer, there's definitely ways to do it in D&D. What up, G Hercub? How you doing? For Mega's Thought Palace, playing Rules Lawyer and realizing on the 20th BitD reference that Jeremy Crawford is at the table. yeah. This all goes into my Thought Palace, Daniel O'Dea. Dude, playing with Jeremy Crawford would be sick. I'd love to play. I'd just love to play with a lot of people. Time, though. I lucked out. I grew up in an area with a lot of retired math nerds that have been in D&D and tabletop war games since the 70s. Fuck yeah. They took over the libraries in afternoons all the time. Oh, that's so sick. That's very, very cool. I wish. Yeah, I grew up in I had one LGS, but it didn't do any like war games or tabletop. I grew up playing a lot of TCGs in like local game stores. So I played a little, like I touched Magic. I didn't play much of it. I played Yu-Gi-Oh, played the Pokemon TCG. That was my main deal. I played the Pokemon TCG from like ages like 8 to maybe like 14. Like, I went to, like, tournaments and shit. I loved the Pokemon TCG. And then I probably got into D&D the year that I stopped playing the TCG, I think, the Pokemon TCG. I lived in a... Cold Fire is one of my favorite fantasy things. Fuck yeah. I lived in a rural area, too. Couldn't find anyone to play with, but got lucky when an old friend invited me into a group. Even luckier, my GM is Kevin Crawford. I don't know who Kevin Crawford is. Is that a name I should know? Kevin Crawford. A musician, is an Irish flute, tin whistle, low whistle, bodhrán player. Ooh, interesting. He's born in England to Irish parents in Milltown Malbay, County Clare. He later moved to West Clare to improve his music and become more exposed to traditional Irish music. That sounds sick. Sounds like a cool-ass dude. Very cool. There you go. Just going for cold spells would be good. We'd be able to use Ice Wall to do something like bend the barrel of a giant cannon. Put a giant enemy prone, getting it under their feet or against the under of a barrel. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of creative things you can do with things like Ice Wall. Yeah. World Without Numbers, not musician. Oh, wait, no, not the musician. I was like, yeah, that's cool that there's a musician, dude. Kevin, okay, so not the musician. Kevin Crawford, RPG. Oh, the writer of Stars Without Number. I am Kevin Crawford, author of Stars Without Number. Dude, I've been wanting to play Stars Without Number. I keep looking into it. I've been debating about I want to play like a sci-fi thing. Do I want to play like the Star Wars RPG or Starfinder? I had decided on, I don't remember if it's Stars Without Number that came first or Worlds Without Number. Whichever one of them came first. I like kind of already decided that this was going to be, after Blades in the Dark, this was going to be the next RPG I learned. That's sick. That's very, very cool. Interesting. Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG with Season 1 rules is the most dramatic card-playing game there is. Heart of the Cards, baby. Yeah, unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think is a well-designed TCG, but it is dramatic. I will say that. Heart of the cards, pot of green, baby.
Sunset as night turned in Whitestone to the first clear sky.
He went to my high school? Oh, that's so fucking cool. There you go. Very cool. Hey, sometimes you just know people like that. No, sometimes you just know people. There's a other YouTuber actually that I'm very good friends with, or that I was very good friends with. We sort of fell off in college because he went out to California to do like acting stuff, and I went to get like a fucking programming degree. But we actually just recently were like, oh, like we should talk again. I haven't talked to him in a while, but it's crazy the people that you know, like there's the people you grow up with that go off and do wild shit. Yeah, I haven't come up with many ideas with cold spells. Cool. They're like the spell and like arcana crafting is one of the most like raw eligible homebrews. Like any homebrew is you know good and like is cool and okay. But spells specifically, like the rules are very explicit to point out like these are not all of the spells that exist. Like feel free to make your own. And as long as you like level them appropriately, like you know, no harm, no foul. One was throwing iron balls into the air and then shooting them with Ray of Frost to make spicy ice caltrops. I mean, that is a cool idea. That is not something that like that is like very like, you know, distinct. Like I would definitely let you like flavor it, but the coldness from Ray of Frost does not stick around. I don't even think Ray of Frost like freezes things. Shape Water does freeze things. So there may be something there. But yeah, I mean there's lots of things that you can come up with either yourself for new spells or whatever. I went to order scribes for my last wizard, and now it's my favorite. Oh, it's the next wizard I want to play. I'm not that into wizard as a concept, but if and when the next time I play a wizard is, I want it to be Order of Scribes. It's so cool. That sounds like a flavor of Ice Knife. Yeah, it sounds similar to Ice Knife. There are a couple of spells that you could probably flavor that way. I mean, the thing is, like, I know, especially with a lot of, like, cantrip tomfoolery, a lot of the time, I think people want to make cantrips do more than they do, because then it feels like, oh, I'm being creative and I'm not using my resources. But cantrips are kind of supposed to use your resources, you know, like, or they are supposed to be weak because you're not using your resources. So a lot of times I'm hesitant to give, like, a lot of power towards even creative cantrip use. Because you get the classic, like, oh, I want to freeze the water inside a person's body. Can't do that. So there's like some things there that you could do, and there's a lot of flavor that you can accomplish. But the moment you start talking about using spell slots, ooh, boy, we got a lot of things we can do once we start using spell slots, you know? Prepared casters scare me. Any sort of casters scare me. That's why I'm a fake caster. I'm a warlock main. I wish Ice Knife was better so I would feel better about using it. That's how I feel about a lot of spells. My first D&D character was a wizard, probably still my favorite character, but I do not miss starting with 3 HP. That's not an exaggeration. You poor fool that rolled your HP. Imagine the fool who rolls and is not a Chad average taker.
Since you've arrived.
Yeah.
To the first evening where you can hear smiles, cheers, and laughter. We'll pick up again next week for the Winter's Crest Festival in Whitestone.
Yay! Fuck you, Briarwoods! Fuck you, Briarwoods!
I already did it.
No, but it was the perfect moment.
You don't want it to happen anyway.
I don't care. This is out of character. It would have been the perfect moment.
I never said it was
And
smart.
it makes for fun drama. That was crazy.
How am I going to be your
Quick
acrobatics?
announcement.
You are not.
You
are not.
30 something?
Oh,
Real quick
Grog,
announcement.
Grog, I can
So
help.
we got to get ready for Christmas, and we're gonna go offline and back up so we can make sure we get this episode uploaded to you guys on Monday. The longer the video, the longer.
Wait, was that actually it? Wait, I didn't even check the time code. I was literally like 20 seconds away from ending the video. I thought you were when you said we are so close to the end of this episode, I thought you meant like a minute, 2 minutes. It was literally like 20 or 30 seconds. Okay, wait. I hadn't even like re-entered watch mode in my brain.
I never said it was
It makes for fun drama. That was crazy.
How am I going to be your
Quick
acrobatics?
announcement.
You are not.
You
are not.
30 seconds?
I can help.
We got to get ready for Christmas, and we're going to go offline and back up so we can make sure we get this episode uploaded to you guys on Monday. The longer the video, the longer it takes to transcode, and sometimes makes it take longer to get it up. So we'll be going offline and then right back up for Christmas, guys.
Just 2 minutes, guys.
Well, stop.
Don't leave. Over here. Hello,
Oh
everyone.
my god, literal. Damn, I really was keeping you guys on the edge. That's crazy. Oh, sorry about that. I honestly should have looked at that. That is, as much as I like to be like, I'm gonna talk to chat, I should have just looked at that and just watched the rest of it. That was crazy. I'm sorry about that one. Oh my god. Oh man, the heart of the dice were not with you for that HP. No, they were not. Convenient. I like playing clerics most. Nobody else wants to play them, but everyone wants bless. Dude, clerics are so good. Clerics are so good. It's great. I think people don't want to play clerics literally based off of the name. Like, I think if you renamed cleric to like war priest or like diviner, no, diviner also sounds bad. I think cleric literally just has like a branding problem because cleric has the most subclasses of any list, and it has so many good ass spells and so many good ass features, like, and fun features too. Like, trickster cleric is a fucking laugh to play, and it is incredibly good. Like, and that's just the one off the top of my head. Tempest cleric, crazy damage. Forge domain, being able to just make random shit a +1. Huh. Oh my god. Like, grave domain, I think it is having the better chill touch, or no, the better spare the dying. Which one has like the great spare the dying cantrip? Like, so many cleric subclasses are incredible, and it doesn't get love. It deserves it. Oh man, I've avoided playing spellcasters. Wish is underpowered. Yeah, you gotta play that overpowered fighter. Yeah. HP was the only thing that was garbage. I rolled my stats and got stupid lucky with rolls. Hell yeah, the absolute edging. Oh man. I rolled stats at the end of the game. My blades ran 18, 18, 22, 27, 29. Oh my god. Mega's the new edgelord. Yes sir, yes sir. Because if I run out of ways to use that, I'm going back to figuring out how I can simply use chemistry to create chemical warfare, or basically explode everything in a chaotic manner, since it gets exhausting to be told no, you can't do that too many times. I mean, look, restrictions are an important thing when you are playing a game. Like, even more impulsive when someone says, no, you can't be a cryomancer, you have to have more flavor to your character. It's too boring. Okay, no one should ever say a character is too boring. A character is exactly what you want it to be. But when it comes to, like, to use maybe a hyperbolic example, like, hey, I want to scale that wall. Like, some walls you can't just scale. Like, you can't scale. Some boulders you can't lift. Some chasms you cannot jump. Like, there are always going to be things you cannot do in D&D, or at least you can't do them as cheaply as you want. Like, you can lift a boulder with telekinesis. You can bridge a large chasm with fly. So, I don't think it's less of you can't do that, and more, you can't do that with the current resources you are attempting to use to do that. Like the spiky iron balls with Ray of Frost. Like, Ray of Frost cannot add extra damage onto, like, an existing object. Like, that's not something that spell is capable of. but magic in general, definitely capable of that. You are definitely able to like construct large caltrops. So I want to draw a fine line between like, yeah, like rule of cool and like letting you letting players do cool and fun creative things versus like just like breaking the intended balance of the game, because that can very quickly become unfun for people that aren't you. So it's like I even see like use chemistry to create chemical warfare. We're in like, you know, a fantasy game. Like, even if you are trying to use chemistry in the game, like, very much might end up being something where, like, the materials you, like, can't acquire because they're, like, too expensive, or, like, you know, there's very much things that you can do, but you might just not have the resources to do them, I think is the really big, you know, line to cut. Like, by the time you get 9th level spell slots, you have fucking Wish. You can do anything. But it's all about what can you do with the resources at your disposal. Cleric equals armored wizard. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of spells, that character had a spell that that I have never seen again ever. It was called Conjure Sandline with a pouch full of sand as a non-consumed component. Was dope. I've never heard of that. Is that a 5e spell? Is that like an actual spell? I've never heard of that. That's crazy. Grave, the best domain. Grave is sick. Grave is very cool. I've never played D&D, but my first BG3 character was in fact a Tempest Cleric. Tempest Cleric is dope. Like, getting like free movement all the time and a shitload of extra damage. And in Baldur's Gate 3? What? Bird, you're fine. Hi. Oh, did you forget I was here? Oh, are you so upset? Bird is so upset because Paige took Bug out and Bird didn't get to go with them, and that is a crime against nature and God. So she is singing the song of her people. Anyways, no, but Tempest Cleric's especially great in Baldur's Gate 3 because of all the lightning charge shit. I'm the designated cleric whenever my DM needs to bring in a ringer to teach new people with a one-shot. Fuck yeah, dude. That's sick. Old heads think of Gold Moon when they hear the word cleric. I am not an old head, so I do not. My first character, when I started... Oh, wait. I think I might not be getting Twitch chats. I'm not sure. I might be. Oh, no, I am. I just had to make sure. Wait, I lost it all. My first character when I started playing again was a cleric. He lasted 2 sessions, but the group named our keep after him. Fuck yeah! Sounds like you play a very deadly game, which makes a lot more sense as to why you are down with creating this character that your party is definitely going to turn on and kill. Which that's fine if you play that sort of like hyper deadly game. That is very fair. I think when it comes to asking to do things asking to do things based on real life physics can get wonky really fast. So when people get really deep into aerodynamics and realistic damage, yeah, it can be really there's a whole segment that I had on this on like realistic stuff during the Orion era, definitely towards the end of like, you are in a world of swords and sorcery. It is not the real world. The gravity, the physics do not work the same way that they do here. And so trying to apply real world chemistry, real world physics, like, it might just not work. And being creative is an incredibly good thing. But attempting to subvert intended balance can be detrimental towards the fun of the table. Like, if you are saying, like, if you're trying to put together, you know, a fucking pipe bomb to take down the Tarrasque at level 2, Like, sure, maybe you can theoretically do that, but is that fun? I don't know. Like where's like the puzzle? Where's the intrigue in that? Because you don't actually have to build that thing. Like now we're just like using D&D. Yeah, like we're getting far, far away from the game part of role-playing game, right? We're getting farther into just the role-playing part of a role-playing game. And there are games that are much looser than that. So like if you want to do those types of crazy things, I know, fucking put it on the list. Plug for Blades in the Dark. Like Blades in the Dark allows you to do much wackier things. It is a much more abstracted system that allows for those maybe like more real world physics type things to occur. So it might even just be that like if you want to do those sorts of things, D&D, but just like might not be the system for that. Wait, was there nothing in the bingo today? I actually don't think there was. I don't think there was anything in the bingo today. Which is crazy. I don't think we've had... I mean, it was it was only 45 minutes, but still. I mean, that's crazy. Oh, man. I think we got N1, but it was a very short... Oh, we did get N1. We totally got N1. You're very right. Yeah, but I just didn't mark it. Yeah, we definitely didn't get even close to a bingo. It was just a short app. This was decades ago. Oh, gotcha. So a much earlier edition. That's cool. Shall I assume that's it for content tonight? I think so because it was a relatively long stream without it, and I think that we will have... I think it will probably be good to not pin an entire episode on that week where I'm going to be traveling. So I think that targeting those 3 days for extras will be better. All right, so I think we're probably done on Critical Role for the night. I think we're just in kind of Q&A mode. Which, speaking of, I could go back to this. Oh, God, the white does not look good against my background. Holy shit. We'll go back to this in case I want to draw. Yay, Tempest! Woo! I think when it comes to real-life physics, at times you can get too far into what makes sense that you can take the fun out of the game a bit and slow everything down. Yeah, I think so. You can definitely unfun yourself. Deleted and reformatted the comment, but I think it stayed in the feed. Yeah, it probably does. I try not to get attached to my characters because I stopped taking fun chances, ironically. My current character started as a joke character, but she just won't die, and now I'm very attached to her. It can fucking happen. I get that. I was playing in that sort of like very deadly game at one point, and I had a similar like... Because I knew it was deadly, I accidentally power gamed a little bit. And I made like a very survivable build, and like I really focused on that, and I created a character whose personality was based around surviving, and what the fuck do you know? They survived through some not so great means. So yeah, I get that feeling. And don't be surprised if you're told your character doesn't know how to do what you want, or if your DM allows it but makes it do 1d6 damage. Yeah, that's another very fair thing, is if you're going into like what damage means is an abstraction with D&D. So if you start doing chemical warfare, if you make a pipe bomb, yeah, don't be surprised like with the resources that you have on hand if I say it does 2d6. Like that, the other things that we have to compare that to are superhumanly strong sword swings and magic. So if we want to get into realistic physics, realistic chemistry, like I'm down to do that. It might just not be the result that you are expecting or wanting, honestly. I think it's just metagaming. Just because you can build a pipe bomb doesn't mean your character can. Also very true. Chemistry is the product of ages of research. If those decades were different in your fantasy world, people just might not know anything about elements and reactions. Also very true. Played with my Blades in the Dark group today, and we were in the Wild Wild West with our gameplay. It's so fun, but I sometimes miss the boundaries of D&D. And vice versa in D&D. Yeah, like boundaries, what's the very classic quote? There's a very classic quote that's like restrictions breed creativity or something. Like sometimes doing cool stuff within the restrictions of the system that you're in feels better than doing crazy wacky stuff because, you know, you've basically homebrewed it or you're in a more abstract system. Like I think that the puzzles having more boundaries allows for potentially even more clever play within the restrictions of D&D. That said, I fucking love BitD, so I'm not gonna talk too much shit on it. But it is fucking wild west with BitD. Gotta pop out. Too tired. Yeah. Go to sleep. Have a good night. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll watch the rest of the stream later. I think we're probably approaching me calling it a night too. The short stream will not be I will not be missed on the short stream. Or wait, I will not be missed. What did I mean by that? My brain just had an out of body experience. I was just a floating intellect devourer above my body. I will appreciate the short stream. I'm a little tired. But we'll keep going for a little bit more. I once asked my DM if I could use a catapult to launch a dagger that another PC missed with. Just swap the damage from bludgeoning to piercing, and he said he was 100% fine with that. I mean, if he's fine with it, fucking go for it. Like, but I also do like, you know, swapping it for something else that like does damage that the DM can latch onto. I think that's the big thing. Is when you are trying to do clever things, having a very direct analog that your DM can easily pull from to kind of know the bounds of what you're going for. So, Peasant Railgun. The Peasant Railgun is actually very interesting. I've never done like a diagram of it. The Peasant Railgun is a great example of creative play in D&D that forces you to ignore some things. So, the Peasant Railgun either it requires you to ignore physics or it requires you to ignore the rules. One of both. So the Peasant Railgun either requires you to ignore physics in imagining that a group of peasants can accelerate something to the speed of light. By the way, if you don't know what the Peasant Railgun is, let me illustrate it. So the Peasant Railgun is the idea that you can get a bunch of peasants all in a row and that they can all pass something. So if you all roll your initiative right, like say that this guy's initiative is 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 4, that you can line up, say, 1,000,000 peasants all in a row, so out into the distance. And that you can essentially take like a boulder or a rock, and that this peasant can pass it to this peasant, who can pass it to this peasant, who can pass it to this peasant, all within a turn. And during that turn, since a turn is only 6 seconds, that the distance it will have traveled will like accelerate it to the speed of light. Actually, you ignore both just at different points in time. It depends, G. Hercum. I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah. Go for it, Ella. I'll see you later. Short stream equals 3 hours. I mean, yeah, for me, dude. But so you either... So let's say that you ignore physics. You... Actually, no, G. Hercum, you're right. You're totally right. You have to ignore both. You're 1,000% right. Because in order for the Peasant Railgun to work, you have to ignore the fact that this is, like, not possible within physics. Like, people cannot actually do this. So you have to rely on the mechanics for that to work, right? For 1,000,000 people to pass this in a line within 6 seconds. That is, like, a purely mechanics thing. But then you have to latch back onto the mechanics to say that it does any amount of, like, additional damage. Because by the mechanics of the game, when it gets to the last peasant and the last peasant throws it, even if it is traveling at the speed of light, The coolest I couldn't have said it better myself, G. Urkum. The coolest way to deal 1d4 damage. Because at the end of the day, you're throwing a rock. So if we're relying on the mechanics back here, you have to rely on them at the end. So if the mechanics are getting it to the speed of light, the mechanics are the thing throwing it for 1d4 damage. So yeah, in order for the peasant railgun to work and do like a shit ton of extra damage, you have to both ignore physics and ignore the mechanics at different points. Yeah. So that is where we get to sometimes with like creative stuff like that, is that it has to be within the realm of the game, of the fantasy, of the fiction, and of the mechanics. You can certainly do things, just don't be surprised or shocked when they maybe do less than you think they will. Anyways, I think that's about it. So that has been me. That has been Critical Role. And I don't think there might be a BG3 stream soon. I want to keep playing through it, but who knows? It's tough to predict. But there will definitely be a book club stream this Sunday. So, if you are a bookie, and we are going to talk over the entirety of The Way of Kings. So probably a longer book club than most. I don't know that we'll go like full like, whoa, book retrospective necessarily. But it will definitely be longer because we covered a lot more of it. For reference, I got a little bit to read left. I'm most of the way through part 4, but I haven't even started part 5 yet. I have a little bit to read this weekend. Book club hype. When did you say your trip was? Trip is let me pull it up. Trip. So book club on Sunday the 4th. Book club Sunday the 4th, and then normal Critical Role 5th, normal Critical Role 7th. Full episode Friday 9th, and then and then half episode 12th and 14th, and then this, so 17th to the 24th is the trip. So this kind of back week of February, which probably means that because this would normally be the book club day, we might take a book club day off. I don't know. We might also not. I might still do that on Sunday. We'll see. But yeah, so the 19th, the 21st, and the 23rd will be when I'm traveling. We will still stream on those days. They will probably just not be half episodes or full episodes. They will probably be extras, that sort of thing. And this is one of the big reasons as well that I delayed the first Unshot. Because it was, this is around the time I wanted to do it. I'm preparing for the trip, both at work and at home, and just a big kerfluffle. And the first time you guys see me DM, I don't want it to be bad. Just like, fully like vain reasoning. I want it to be good. For my own ego and for your enjoyment. I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want it to be shitty. So that's part of the reasoning there. But yeah, so normal week, mostly normal week. Yeah, normal next week, normal week after that, and then trip. And then we go on from there. I want it to be bad for my own entertainment. Oh, I can make a bad one. Don't you worry. But it'll be bad on purpose. Do you need to do to avoid burnout? Yeah, don't stress yourself. Yeah, I gotta. You're all right. It's tough because I also want to keep momentum. Like, just being fully transparent, I know that when the first Unshot happens, more people will feel comfortable DMing in the Unseen campaign. There will be more to talk about in the roleplay channels. So I'm going to try to maybe do some some little lore bits to give you guys some stuff to discuss, sort of like the rumors that we've sort of touched on here, because I want to give you guys something to latch onto in the roleplay stuff and with the unseen campaign thus far. And I wanted that to be an unseen, an unshot, but I think I got to go smaller at first and then build up. So I think that is about it. Very short stream today, only 4 hours. Very sorry about that, but I am so glad to have hung out and talked to you all for a little bit. I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. And I think I will just see you all probably before Sunday, but maybe Sunday.